Gonna knock anything over? Come here and lay down.
Not.
Come here and lay down.
Hello. Look, it says we're live.
Oh, hi.
We're early. We wanted to make sure we got a new computer going today and got it all set up and a little different. We're out here in our bar. We're live.
Oh, hi.
So, we're early. We wanted to make sure we got a new computer. Want to make sure we're working.
Charlie.
So, Charlie, the dog's in here. Lay down.
He might be going out real fast. I need
You
to
get-
bring his bed in here.
You get tangled up in we have lighting up so we look better and trying this all out.
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
She's been working all day and yesterday putting the tree up. So if you're on Patreon, you might see it in hyperspeed. A lot of butt, probably more than anything else, bending over in front of the tree all the time.
It didn't.
You're not watching your comments there. You already got people on.
Well, I can't. I'm not even on yet. I'm worried about the dog. I'd rather put
There
him
we go.
outside.
Rat Fink's on already. All right,
Hi,
I'm going to put the
Rat
dog
Fink.
in the house. So
Well,
she's
he
going to
doesn't want
entertain you.
inside. He wants. Just put him right outside the door there. He'll be fine. Well, he thinks we're all going. Oh, I'm not on yet. I don't want Facebook. I want.
So we're just kind of firing up here, trying to figure out what's going on. Got a whole bunch of people already on. That's pretty good.
Hey, Neil's on. He figured out the time.
Yep, I told him it was going to be 3
There's
o'clock.
Karen. Oh, there's Karen and Neil. They like to talk.
Our everyday getaway. Oh, if you're on Facebook, what you have to do is if you look at Facebook and see us there, you have to click that. I think it's a red link. And it says it gives StreamYard permission to use your name.
No, it's blue, I guess. Is
Oh,
that
it's
what it
blue.
is?
Yeah, it's blue.
It says StreamYard.com
See, we'll see if you can see it on the.
Facebook.
Yes, you got to hit that little blue thing there. Yeah, there I am, right there. You hit that, and then you will tell us who you are. So that way, when we
Facebook.
put your comment up, we'll know who you are. See, that's how that all works.
Now I got to find YouTube.
So where are we at now? We are in Arizona. So this is actually our, I don't know what you want to call it, base camp, whatever we mainly stay at.
Our house. How
We're
about
here
that?
about, this year we've been here about, I don't know, what, 8 or 9 weeks probably by the end of the year. So it won't be too long. So Neil said he told us he had about 30 inches of snow
Oh my gosh.
up there in Alaska. And so I told him this morning we had
-9.
we were at 34 degrees. So he's saying it was -9 at his place. He would
Any
trade.
day.
Yes. That's why
I'll
we don't.
trade 34 for -9. He
That's
saw
why we
my
don't-
comment.
That's why we don't live in
This
Alaska.
morning it was 34 degrees. I'm like, welcome home.
So we're
then.
in Arizona. That's where we're at. We're right outside of Laughlin, Nevada, and we're going to be talking about that today too.
Hot chocolate.
A little bit about the event that they're going to have out here. Laughlin River Run's gone. It's all over with. We're going to have the promoter that it's going to be called Bullhead River Run. And it's going to be starting, actually it started last year. And but he's got it pre-lined up. We're going to actually have an interview with him Tuesday here at the house because it's still a little cool outside. It's in the 50s. Ooh-wee, it's cold here. And so it might rain on
He
Tuesday
turned
too.
on the furnace.
Yep, first time. So
Which
we're
is-
way up here now. See how to use
Good evening.
so Dave's
Hey.
here. Dave's in the house.
Yeah.
So we're going to meet with him on Tuesday, and we're going to ask a bunch of questions and things like that. You need glasses so you can see what you're
Yes,
looking
I
at.
didn't bring my glasses out.
And so we're going to sit down and talk to him. He's going to start telling us some of the things he's got planned. He's got some really good adventures, things going to be going on. Now, we're not going to be able to cover that this year. What we're going to end up doing is starting this week. I think we're going to do a video with him every week up until his rally starts.
Or is he going to do live?
Well, we're going to do some lives too it might not be every week, but it's the last weekend of April. It's the exact same time that Panama City has their rally. So this year we've already set out for Panama City. Probably next year, we're going to find a way to get back and probably cover his event here. We're hoping Art will go out and film that for us. I was trying to get Art. We're supposed to come out here over the Thanksgiving or Christmas here. I need to call him. And he had to take some time off before the end of the year. So I was going to say, come on out. And he can go meet Larry and get all connected with him. So that way he can come out here and do some filming. And it won't be live, but it'd be when we come back, we can put it on, put it up, or he can mail it to me, the cards, and we can we can edit it and then put it out. And that way you guys can see what kind of event he had here. It's kind of neat out here. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff leading up to his event before we leave, talking about some of the rides that they have out here. They've got a poker run that's put on by the fire department. It's all benefited the firefighters. I don't know where they get the money to. I don't know if it's with the fire department. But Larry will tell us all about that.
I think.
And
that's for the one I won that one year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And
so I never got to use it. It was a free weekend for the Laughlin River Run over at the Tropicana. You got special bike parking and the room rate and all.
They didn't have it the next year. They canceled it. That was the first year they canceled it. We've actually been to the Laughlin River Run probably 17 years straight. We never missed a year. That was our official rally we went to, and it slowly died and died and died and died and died.
So, Shauna, where you live?
So we'll be talking about that as we get on these next couple of weeks. Like I say, Larry's going to come on Tuesday, and we'll put him out on a Wednesday video, so you guys can check that out. So that's something that we're going to be working on as before we leave, so we can get a whole bunch of good information. We're going to sit down and talk to, I think he's got the mayor and some of the city officials are going to say what's going to be on board. He's going to tell us about the vendors. He's already got bands lined up that's going to be here. You know, not any big bands, but I mean more local bands. I think he's got a ZZ Top band, a Motley Crue band that's going to be coming in, and they're pretty good. And so he'll tell us all about that on Wednesday. So we'll see how that is. And then we'll go from there, and then we'll do some satellite ones out there for him. And then when we're on the road, we'll try to get with him and do some live feeds to get him on. And you guys can ask questions. He's even got one of the hotels over in Laughlin. It's only $100 a night. And they normally used to charge like $500 for 3 nights. So he's gotten some pretty good deals. He also deals with his experience actually was with the tattoo convention. They actually had a tattoo convention, which was like 12 years they had it running. And we always seen it
cross
there,
country now too.
But we didn't really know it was something that was every year. They had
it was associated with the.
It was in the Colorado Bell.
Yeah.
So he's going to bring it now because the Colorado Bell's closed down. Bad news. It's sinking. The boat's sinking. It's on dry land and it's sinking. So it's not really a boat. It looks like a boat.
Yes.
It's really neat. We're trying to get the promoter to let us, or the guy that owns the property, to let us get in it. They might explode it one day, implode it. And we want to go through it before.
And it's probably going to be while we're out on the road
probably.
somewhere.
I'd have to fly back probably for it. But I really wanted to see what's left of it inside. You know, they always have those ghost tours. Those people go inside. A bunch of people went in there. They've got it all secure now. Nobody can get in. And they wouldn't let us.
People broke in. They didn't.
So they wouldn't let us in at this point when we talked to them last year, or this year, I guess, early in the year. And they wouldn't let us in at that point because they didn't want to get more people trying to get in. So he said he would contact us. And Larry knows the guy. Larry knows one of the owners of.
It's Sean. It's like Sean Hannity, but it's Sean.
They own the Aquarius. They own the Colorado Bell, and they own, is it the Edgewater?
Yes.
Edgewater. The 3 casinos they own. And they'll probably put something else on that land eventually. So that's that. So
yes, we do want to say prayers for all those people in the Midwest that went through those horrible tornadoes.
Yes, could you believe that? That's one of the reasons we don't live in the Midwest anymore. Right. We used to live in Illinois, and Edwardsville was actually probably about 30, 40 miles from our house that we used to live in. So very, very close. And we've actually had, well, I don't know.
2 that were within blocks.
Since we were married. I had another one when I was a kid, went down our street, the next street above us. Luckily, our house was down, our street was in a ditch. It was in a lower. And my dad left trash cans outside. Didn't even blow over. But it was.
And it's funny because that's what they say. You know, one street can be totally devastated and the next street over is fine. And but that's not what happened. I mean, I think what they say there were 20 tornadoes. Something like
18 or 20.
It was crazy.
And this one was
they were coming from all different directions. I heard the night.
It may have broke a world record that it traveled to 200 miles. That same tornado that started in Kentucky, which seems to be more than 200 miles, went all the way to Edwardsville. A little more than 200 miles, I think. But
no, Mitch and Diane are on.
So that's we definitely want to think about that because that is it's really tough for them. And some of that one town is completely gone. There is nothing left. And you know, there's the Amazon warehouse that was in Edwardsville. Some people died in that. I think 4 or 5 people died there. That candle factory that was down, I think it was in Arkansas or Kentucky. They're still looking for bodies there. So there's going to end up probably being a lot of people. Because most of these hit after 8 o'clock at night. So I guess the candle place must have had people working at night. You know, Amazon does. Amazon always has somebody's there 24 hours a day working.
Yeah, Edwardsville's not too far from where we're
30 or 40 miles.
Yeah.
So there we go. So we'll get off for that.
Prayers for all them.
Yep. So
in that area. because it takes a long time to recuperate. Rat Pink says he's got the same cup.
Yep.
And then, hi, Stephen. It's good to hear from you.
And so we're actually in our bar. This is actually our third garage. And I used to have this in our house. Every house we've lived in, I've had it in. Normally, I take the dining room and I turn it into a bar. And you know how much I drink? Well, you see Bucky's cup. It's got iced tea in it. We're not big drinkers, and you guys probably have been watching us. We don't do a lot of drinking.
Except one night I had
Actually, we're on diets. I have actually lost about, I think, 5 or 6 pounds now in about a week.
We're doing the fasting thing where you fast. You don't eat after 7.
So we're only eating 2 meals a day. We don't eat till our first meal is not till after 12, and we don't eat after 7 at night. So we got to end early so we can eat tonight, or we're not going to get to eat. So we're trying to do that. We need to get out and do a little more exercising and stuff. So hopefully, the other day we went out and walked it up. We have a mall here. We really don't call it a mall. It's more
almost an abandoned mall. So you can walk around, there's nobody in it.
Yeah.
And then the time difference, we're mountain time because we don't do.
Well, we'd be mountain time anyway.
No.
Yeah.
We're Pacific time after daylight savings time, or when daylight savings time.
No, but we're in the mountain time zone. We just don't switch.
No, Nevada's on the other side of us.
I know, but we're in the mountain. Arizona.
Pacific time is what we normally are. Well, we're mountain time, half time.
That's what we are now.
Yeah.
Because we don't change. We stay in daylight savings time year round here because of the Indians. They're special. We're the only state, maybe Hawaii, but I think we're the only state that.
Well, we be buzzing on there. Do you guys change time for daylight savings time, or do you guys not in Hawaii? Where are you at? Oh, Mike O'Brien. They're asking. I guess Neil's asking Mike where he's at. I think. If you know where we're at, we're in Arizona.
Yeah, Mikey knows that. So, yeah, that's the back of the bar. I've shown some of this before. Like when you see us standing in front of the Harley Davidson sign in the background, that's the other half of the bar. I've switched things around. I used to always have the green screen on that end, opposite of this, and all the lights are this way, shooting that way. So we have the grandkids and stuff are supposed to be coming out sometime before Christmas or after Christmas. So they like to come out here and play. We got a dartboard over here. So I decided to put the green screen now is along the side of the dartboard. That whole wall is a green screen now. And then so I have like 2, what do they call these stupid couches? Futons. They're old. We've had them forever. And
since we moved
I don't
to
know if
California.
they even have futons anymore, do they?
Yeah, they do.
It's not a drink.
Futons store.
And so we had that so we could have extra people sleep. I installed one of these air conditioners that are ductless. I installed that in here, so it's got the heating and the air conditioning in here. I can't really see it. It's over your head. So most of the stuff I used to have all this beer stuff when we used to live in Illinois, and we got rid of it all. Said we're never going to live in it. We're going to live in a condo.
Because one day he was going to have a bar. One day he was going to have a bar, and then when we moved to California, it's like I'm never going to get a bar. So we moved, and I said, "You put a bar."
So I got Michelob sign back here was like one of the first ones, and it's broke twice now that we've had to have the glass repaired. So that's there. The lights above us, I had those on, but there was such a bad glare. I actually made those lights. They're in a little box, and they got different links and ropes and stuff. I made all that. And then we put all the shelves up. I got like $5,000 worth of liquor I bought over the years. I don't know how much of it's any good anymore.
Probably
but
not
we got some
much of
Jesse
any
James. We got some California. What's the song? Hotel California down in Baja California, down in Mexico. That we actually went to.
Toto Santos.
We went down there and got some from there because that's supposed to be where the actual song was written from.
So they say.
That's what they say.
So Hawaii doesn't change their time either. It gets dark at 6. It gets dark.
About 6 here, about 5:30.
And then it's funny because the sun doesn't come up till like 7:30, 8 o'clock. We got up the other morning. He's like, it's still dark. We should be in bed. No, the other day we got up early and went somewhere. Oh, to meet Larry Topping.
He's the guy
that does
the promoter,
the Bullhead City Run, Bullhead River Run.
Yeah. You gotta get the name down. There's a whole bunch of names that people are calling that, and it's very confusing. There's actually a lot of things going on, and we're going to explain all that to you. If you ever, Laughlin River Run used to be a real, like I say, we went there 17 years in a row. It was pretty good at its time. They had a shooting back in 2001, I think it was, and from there they brought all the cops in. And it got just 2 years ago that they had it. Cops were sitting. They had Las Vegas cops over there because we're in Nevada. And they would have them all sitting there. And as soon as somebody pulled out of their motorcycle out of one of the casinos, they pulled them over and checked them for DUI. I would say 1 out of 10 had any alcohol in them. the rest all had their bikes towed and they all got arrested. So that year really sucked, and it's been getting worse and worse on all together. And we've lost a lot of the vendors and all that kind of stuff. So Larry's got a big hill to climb up to. He's got some really good things. Now we're going to be on the Bullhead City side, the Arizona side. So we're not going to be dealing with the Las Vegas police or Metro. Any of them aren't going to be coming over there.
Unless you stay over there.
Yeah.
Because see, they have a helmet law. Arizona doesn't have a helmet law,
right.
So that's where they get you to.
They get you that too. Coming across
as soon as you cross the river, they'll pull you right over.
So there is going to be some stuff. The tattoos are still going to be going on over on the Laughlin side, but on the Bullhead side, he's got the big Anderson Hall. It's a big giant place, and we're going to show you that on in videos in the next few weeks. And then he's got the park, and we'll show you that. That's where Speeds used to be. That's the first time I think we ever met Speeds. Was out there when they did it work for us. They used to come out here. We used to have a lot of people. The Boss Hoss used to come out here. Harley always had a demo truck out here. I don't think Indian ever came out, but we had J&P Cycles. We had Ciro. We had
not Ciro. It was Kiriakin back then.
No, but Ciro came in right because that's when Adam was there. That's the first time we met Adam was at the Ciro tent. They had come out.
And we actually met Michael Ballard and Angie from
Full Throttle.
Full Throttle.
We got a picture on my editing wall in the bedroom of us. I actually had him sign one of them. That one's signed. We actually took it one year, and then the next year we took it. I don't know if we took it out to Full Throttle.
We took it to Full Throttle.
And people were like, "Rich, how'd you get that picture?" So we took it
years ago.
Yeah, and we've been dragging it around. We wanted to get their autographs on it, so it was kind of neat. So it was still the show was still going on, so it was kind of neat.
Yeah.
So pretty exciting.
They're all talking. I don't know where any of those places are in Wisconsin, but so who stopped drinking?
Who stopped drinking?
Stephen Bates. I stopped drinking in April per the law enforcement. I learned I don't need it because I'm already crazy. Join the club.
And it is, and it's nothing wrong with people that do drink and people don't drink. It's it is what it is. And we have, like I say, some of the lives we've had. That where's the last place we were at?
And Huntington Beach up at Fred's.
Oh yeah, we had a couple beers at Fred's, and so we had there, and then we've had a couple drinks when we were in Mexico. We had a couple drinks down there in Mexico.
Had, and there was Mexico was
beer,
alcohol, tequila. You had beer, tequila, or soda. That was it. Nothing else because you can't drink water. Merry Christmas, Karen.
So yeah. But I mean, it was really neat. And for those of you that haven't catched up on us on the Mexico trip, we're definitely going again next year. So anybody that wants to go down and party down in Mexico, that's really all it is. Just a big party. And if we can get down there with a group, maybe we can get one of these bars set up to where we can get in there. We can set up there on one of the nights, Friday night or Saturday night, and just stay up there the whole night. You'll see enough stuff from up there.
How you doing, Tom? He's from Arkansas. Did you get hit by any of those tornadoes or any friends or family? We were just talking about that.
Yeah, so it's tough, and we live there. We've lived through. That's one of the reasons when we look at all this after traveling all around the United States. We haven't gone up to the East Coast, and we haven't got way up on the West Coast up north. We haven't been up in Oregon or Washington State, or we haven't been up in New York. We've been in New York, but not motorcycling. And but doing all this traveling that we have, we're actually very fortunate of where we're at. Like when we lived in California, we got twice we got kicked out of our home because of the fires. They came one block away from our street. That's when I decided to move because I said, 3 strikes, you're out. So that was the second time they kicked us out of our house. Third time, it's probably going to burn down and we'll lose everything we have. And so when we lived in Illinois, Missouri, we had to deal with the tornadoes and earthquakes. We had earthquakes there too. The one that's running up there through Missouri and Illinois is actually, they say, is larger than the one that's in California.
The Mandarin Fault, I think it's called. No.
And when we were kids, we had a really bad one. I was outside when it happened. I didn't know what the heck was going on. And all our china, my mom's cabinet was shaking still, and we had all kinds of stuff. So we lived through all that, and just like the lightning and stuff we used to have when I was a kid, used to blow the radios up and TVs and stuff. My parents never turned nothing off. And but now when we live here, it's just like I say, going down to Florida where it rains all the time and all that humidity and stuff and the mosquitoes. Well, we live here. We only have one thing. It does get hot here. We get up, our average is probably during the summer is about somewhere between 100 and 115 degrees, but we don't have the humidity. So if you're standing, you can sit out here on the back patio.
It's much cooler here than it is in Florida
at 90
or Oklahoma at 80, 90 degrees. Yeah. Yes.
So
Believe it or not,
so
it really is.
that's different. Now you got to watch the car gets hot. You touch the car handle, you can burn your hand. Even the things you put in the windshields, those reflector things, they'll burn your hands. So things get hot out here, but you can, ours is about 118. Once it gets over about 118, hits 120, which I think it got a little this year, but last year we never got over 115 here. So we only had that.
Well,
so
they have the monsoons too, but I don't.
Our monsoon, here's the difference with our monsoons. We get a monsoon that comes in here. It rains for about 20 minutes and it dumps about 3 inches of rain.
It's gone.
And it's gone. And that's
and
the
the
monsoon.
desert just soaks it up.
Yeah. So it floods really fast and then it's gone. And the casinos last year had a couple windows got blown out by one of them that came through. But I mean, we didn't even get hardly any of the rain that time. So where you're at here, it could pour down rain. It's like Florida. You could pour down rain a couple streets over and then we don't even get a drop here. So when we look at it, that's why I said we're kind of like, a lot of people don't really know about this. How overall we probably got one of the best areas to live in for things that kind of stay the same. We don't have bugs, mosquitoes or something. People go scorpion stuff. We've seen one scorpion in how many years we've been here? 6, 7 years now.
Well, down in Mexico at my cousin's house, they have a little black light because I guess I didn't realize how the scorpion we had here was.
Well, it's different kinds.
Well, the ones down there in Mexico, they're itty bitty. They're maybe an inch long, and they shine a black light on them, and they glow in the dark. So they go outside and hunt for scorpions.
Well, they got them by names.
Because they say
they're in Mexico. What else are you going to do? Then the kids go out and they all look at them and.
Because they stay in the same place. They're like, that's their house or their
area, wherever they're at, outside. And it's like snakes. We've seen more rattlesnakes other places than we've seen here. We've never seen a rattlesnake here at all. Last one we got an encounter with was a baby out in Vegas, Red Rock. There was a rattler. And
under a rock I was sitting on.
Yep. And so
what's that noise?
So yeah, it sounded like a camera. We were taking pictures, and so it sounded like an automatic rewinder. And I'm like, that's get off that rock, girls. There was a couple. She was on there with a couple girls sitting on this big old giant boulder. There's a baby, and the baby rattles are the worst because they don't know how to give you the venom. They'll kill you. They'll bite on and they just dump all the venom they have in them. So that's about that. So we're in our bar. This is home. One of our homes.
The desert's like my ex-wife and my bank account soaks it up. The water, it's just like.
The property, we're like everybody else. Our property has doubled in price.
Crazy idea.
California's getting cheaper though. I've seen some commercials for houses for sale have been popping up on my feed or something. And they're getting cheaper over there. Everyone moved to California. And, but yeah, and a lot of states are getting high. When we were down in Florida, they've doubled in price. Tennessee's doubled in price. Texas is going up. A lot of these states are going up. You can probably go to New York right now and probably get a pretty cheap place. Looks like everybody's moving out of there again. I think they're all going to be gone by December 27th. That's what I heard.
Oh, I was going to show some of my Christmas stuff.
She's a Christmas nut.
Well, no, I'm not a nut.
Maybe you should do a video of on Patreon. You can see your Christmas stuff.
Does everybody know who that is? Where is he at? There he is. Listen. That's one of my favorite ornaments. He's being mean to me.
Mr. Sluggo.
And this is one of like 20.
She gave half of them away to the kids.
I know, when we moved. So these are the Hallmark.
I don't want to play too long. They'll get us for copyright.
Oh, yeah. There, I wanted to see his little jingle bells ring on his little butt.
So she's all into the holidays. So we haven't been able to put anything up the last 2 years because we've been out and about, going back and forth and all this crazy stuff.
Leaving early and coming back late and all this stuff. And it's like, crazy.
So she got the tree up today. It's all finished finally. If she don't keep tweaking it. And we've been putting stuff on Patreon. I don't know if anybody on here is watching our Patreon page. We have 30 people. I don't know, something like that. That are on our Patreon
41
page.
on right now.
And I'm talking about Patreon.
I know.
But the people on Patreon, nobody's watching. There's like 1 or 2 guys that are watching the videos I'm putting up. I put a couple videos up and talking about my bike. I've got which if you haven't been watching Patreon, you won't know. I've got a big thing. My part's supposed to be here next week. Can't ride my bike. It's down. And we're gonna do a video on that.
Who did that?
The biker bar.
It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't her this time. She lucked out. So, but it's kind of to me, it's a bad design. And then I've heard all the complaints about this product. And like I said, I don't want to talk about it yet because I'm going to make a video on it. And probably not an install video because there's enough of them out there. I've been watching a guy that installed one and I'm going to install it myself. And so we did a couple things already on the bike to get it, let you know I do work on a bike. And I'm not a bike mechanic, but I used to be an auto mechanic. So
on it, didn't you?
yeah, well, we're supposed to tell people supposed to watch Patreon and see what we're doing. That's what Patreon's all about. Only for $9, you can see basically most of the videos. The only ones I put on the $25 one is the ones that are inappropriate.
Risque.
Yes. And I still got a few of those to put up that I haven't edited. We did the other one the other day, and it's up, and I got another one to do. So that'll be all coming up because we got a lot of time now. So since we're only putting 3 videos out a week, we're doing Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. We're putting videos out. And I've seen a lot of you like the video that we put on about Don there in Lakeland. A lot of people like that video. It's over 10,000. I'm very impressed. Second part, not so well. It's not even at 1,000 yet.
You should have spaced them out maybe a little more.
No, I think it's just we just got one done today on Rod. Who's Rod? Rod, the guy that owns the Buffalo Chip. We sat down last year was his 40th anniversary of owning the Buffalo Chip. And so what we wanted to do is sit down with him. It ended up being, we haven't put our intro and our exit yet. Right now I'm at 49 minutes long. I think I'm just going to put the whole video up at one time. I was going to do it in 4 parts, but apparently you don't want to watch second and third parts. So why put them up if nobody's really going to watch them? So I'm going to put it all in one series. And if you guys want to watch it all, watch it all. It's kind of interesting to hear. If you don't know who owns the Buffalo Chip, he kind of gives you a really good background of himself. Talks a little bit when he was a kid, all the way up to now. And very interesting. He's not a real good storyteller, I would probably say. I'm not a good storyteller probably either. But because he didn't have anything scripted, and he didn't even know what questions. Tam did the interview.
No, I sent him the questions.
Oh, did you send him questions?
Yes. Well, I sent him
I sent him to the marketing guy. I don't think the marketing guy ever looked at anything. I think they said Rod would just answer whatever. And Rod's a really great guy, and we're not staying there this year, but we do highly, highly recommend the Buffalo Chip. If you want, there's a couple different kinds of campgrounds there. You got Glencoe over there. If you want to get over there and get crazy and tear your clothes off and run around and that kind of thing, and it's a variety of ages. There's more older people running around, and of course more guys than there is girls, or like anything else there is. So if you like that atmosphere, that's a choice. But they don't have a lot of own entertainment. They have some in-house bands they have going on. They got some events going on in there, but it's nothing like, there's nothing out there. I always thought the Full Throttle was a lot like the Buffalo Chip. They're nowhere near that compared. The Full Throttle is a different avenue altogether.
Entity.
Yeah. But what we know from
in their own right.
Yeah.
They're both great, but in 2 different ways.
Yeah. But with the Buffalo Chip, what makes it so special is I can't believe all the stuff that they do out there. This last year, 13 bike shows. 13. That's more than Daytona has the whole time they're down there. Put this fall and the spring together, they don't even have 13 bike shows. That's just at one place. That's not still over at Iron Horse has some bike shows. I don't know. I think Full Throttle had something going on over there. So I know there's other bike shows going on other places, but I mean, just speaking on the Buffalo Chip because we stayed there. So that's why we kind of knew that. They got name acts every night. So, if you're going in there and you're paying for, now they jumped the rate. I don't know what it is now. It was $280 to get in there. And now I don't know what they jumped up to after New Year's. And we're going to call them probably Monday and see when they're going to jump again. But probably January 1st, they'll probably jump the rate again. As they keep getting booked up, they start booking up things and sealing it up. And so if you're wanting to do the Buffalo Chip, you want to at least go in there and get your passes and things like that. Because, if you're going to go, let's say, I don't know who they're going to have as entertainment. They got Snoop Dogg. The grandkids she's not a big Snoop Dogger. But we're going to talk to Rod and see if she can meet Snoop Dogg for the grandkids. It'd be great if we get Snoop Dogg to say, listen to Bob and Tam's. Pating, or whatever he says. Chisel, sizzle, or whatever he says. I don't know. I'm not a Snoop Doggy guy either. But I mean, I don't know.
So Grizzly said he hung out with Rod on Thanksgiving. He went on our ride with us.
Oh, okay. Does he live there?
Yes, he lives out there. He takes care of that Fairview campground or something out across the street from.
Oh.
You remember?
Yeah, I do know.
Okay. I think he went over there one time to eat with us.
But it's neat. And Rod is. A lot of people told us things about Rod, and nothing was true. Rod's a really nice guy. He was very humble to us. He was very hospitality to us. He never told us no. I should have asked for a lot more, but I didn't. I'm going to call him up tomorrow or Monday, and we're going to ask him for something.
Tomorrow is Monday.
I know. Well, that'll be tomorrow. We're going to ask and see if we can get something to give away. We'll see if we got any pull or not. To get
That's
something
what
for
Neil
free.
said. Full throttle just doesn't have the same atmosphere it used to at the old place.
Yeah, which is true. That my heart broke when the Full Throttle burnt down. That was the only reason we went to Sturgis the first time, was because we seen the TV show and we hung out the whole time at the Full Throttle.
Probably 80%.
We did the rides, and we went to the Buffalo Chip. I had that's the thing that's why we do what we do. Because when we went to Sturgis, we've been there probably the first 3 times we've been there. We had no idea what was going on. And there's, you can go on the websites and you can look at this and you can look at that, but there's nobody, and all these rallies are like this. Nobody's putting everything together. You can go to one place and say, hey, I want to know what the heck's going on there. So that's what we're going to do this year, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But that's why we did our channel like we do, because just like we find just like the locals that are there. We have a lot of the locals that says, hey, have you guys checked out this? Like there's a ride that we found out last year that runs along the train tracks between
Hill City and Keystone.
Yep. And you can ride along with the train and crosses over tracks about 3 or 4 times. And it's really
12 times.
Yeah, I don't know. Bunch of
That's a
times.
lot.
I don't think it was 12. But, it wasn't real curvy. Wasn't real fun. But, I mean, you went through some nice country and
it's all shady where the trees hang over.
Where if you want to go to either one of those towns really quick, that's a quick shortcut to get to it without going all the way around. So kind of neat. So we want to do some more things like that. But I mean, that's one of the reasons we did our channel the way we did, because we want to let people know, hey, here's all the things that you could do in Sturgis, and we still haven't hit them all. And that's what I said. If we get to the point where we've covered, I think, everything we could cover in Sturgis, we will go back to the Buffalo Chip and spend the whole time there. Never leave the property, other than maybe for the rides. But other than that, we wouldn't leave, because there's so much stuff going on.
That's what's so hard for him this year, because every time we got ready to leave to go do something, he's like, oh, they're doing this, and he'd have to get out and film it, and then we'd be late to wherever we were going.
So it was tough. We're going to give him a suggestion for the micro wrestling, not the one that I just put on from Daytona. The ones that they had. No, that was the one in Daytona. It was the Panama City Beach. Panama City Beach is where they were at. Yeah. They were under the boardwalk. We're going to give them those people's names. They were the best midget they call them micro midget wrestling. So they're midgets. So that's midget wrestling.
Very entertaining.
Those guys were a lot better than the one that I put on the video the other day from Daytona, and a lot better. And we may do a video back of that of putting just that whole wrestling match on, but their lighting there really sucked. Once again, it was a lot of these people do stuff, and there's a lot of these campgrounds and stuff. Just like there's a big one, which actually they're here. They're in our town, Shade Valley. They actually are from here, and they bought Shade Valley a couple years ago. And hopefully before long we can talk to them, because they're thinking things that they're really going to spend a lot of money and not going to get anywhere. We just was told by somebody today or yesterday that they're going to build another stage on their property so they could have both a band. When one band quits, the other band could start playing. Well, the properties there, they got a lot of acres there, but if they put it by the stage, they don't have enough people to justify the money they're spending. They're not going to get 120,000 people there like we had at Kid Rock. So in their area where they've got it at, and all they'd have to get is, we see it when we lived in California, you get those stages that actually had the big turnstile on it. And I've seen 3 bands on them. And when one band leaves, it spins around to where that first band, the band starts, and the other band's just taking their stuff off, and the other band's already playing. So that's all they'd have to do. Why build another stage? But I think people, it's like Larry that's going to be running this. He rides motorcycles, he does tattoos, so he knows the motorcycle industry. He's been here. He went. Did he go to Sturgis this year?
Yes,
I think he did. And he's planning on hoping to go into Daytona next year, because he's trying to get an idea of how he can make his stuff better. So he's listening to some of the things that we say, because he knows which it is. I don't know if there's anybody. We did. Was it 15 or 16?
What
rallies we did?
I think it was 15.
So we did 15 rallies last year. you just tell me, is there anybody out there that's done that many in a row? And I don't know. I would have never done this if I wasn't doing this YouTube. And I know a lot of people hit the big ones, and we see some of the people, but we do go to some of these events and we don't see, like in Mexico, there was no big YouTuber down there. Well, Adam Sandoval was there, but he really doesn't do what we do. So he's a great guy. Adam's a great guy. Poor Scooter died. If you didn't know, poor Scooter was a little guy that was his little Chihuahua that traveled all around and helped him break his world record. I think he had 300,000 miles Scooter had under his belt. Great dog. We met him before he got too bad. And sad to say he's gone, and it's tough.
It's hard,
and especially for he spent his almost 2 years just with Scooter by himself.
That was just him and Scooter.
Yeah. And he had people ride with him. I mean, that's a whole nother story. And but yeah, Adam was down there, and we seen Adam. And I don't know if we ended up on any of his videos or not. I don't think we even had the camera on when he came by us.
No,
and we never seen him again. Yeah, we never seen him again. So we never got a chance to put him back.
I didn't see Ashley, but she might have been there somewhere. But
he said she was there.
Well, I know she was there, but when we saw him, I don't know if she was with him or because they did a lot of stuff while they were down there. I saw some of his videos. He did a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So they're different from what we do. So what we're trying to do is give you good information. So that's what we're going to try to do for this year coming up. We're going to try to do at every rally what we do in Sturgis, and then take Sturgis to the next level. So what we're going to try to do is just like we started here at the end of the year, putting videos out same day. So what we want to start doing for people is give you, if you've never been to Sturgis, or if you're newer to Sturgis, or you don't know really what to see in the Sturgis, we're going to try to do a day and say, hey, here's what you want to do today. If you're in town, here's a list of things that we're going to show you to do today that you can go see and come back and do. So that's kind of exciting. So we're hoping that helps because we have so many people that we meet that actually say, wow, you made our trip so great. We found so many great places to see and do. And we only hear that in Sturgis. We never hear it at any other of the events that we do. So we're going to try. It's like this year, we're going to be in Daytona early. We're already going to be down at Ratfink's going to set us up for St. Augustine's. We're going to spend a couple days down there and we're going to film that. And he's going to show us a bunch of great stuff. So if you're coming to Daytona and you want to come down to St. Augustine's, you'll be able to see that video a couple of days before the rally starts. So you can look at it and say, hey, let's go down to St. Augustine's and check out these couple of places. We'll hang out a day there. Because you go to do a lot of these things, it just depends on what you want to do. If you come into town and I don't need anything done on my bike, and so I don't really need to go looking at all these places. But I mean, you can go down to Destination Daytona and spend the day there and look around at all the vendors and see that. And they have bike shows and stuff going on. But we're going to try to get all this set up. What's going on at the Cabbage Patch, what's going on, and what day is
out in DeLand when they have the bike burning. We never even knew they had that. We were there. Yeah. Well, I guess we weren't there. They don't do it in Biketoberfest, do they?
No, they only do it in the spring. And then they also have the bike swap meet out there. And we didn't get a chance to actually go back to the swap meet. I don't know if we'll go back and do the burning bike again. I'll probably just put that video back up and say that when it is, because you spend a lot of time.
Well, I was going to sit up some.
Yeah, you got to get the other chair. What are you jumping on it?
I was trying to sit up higher.
I broke my chair.
It's already got a screw in it. I was just trying to scoot back. All I was doing. You want me to hit that? And I'm too far away.
Well,
and
you can't have both.
Well.
Then you should just scoot your chair up. Problems that she has. Tearing up my 40-year-old bar stools.
I was going to say, do you know how old they are?
So
yeah, Scooter it was old age. It was his time. That's what happened.
Well, he had a lot of ailments too. And that's what happens to dogs.
Disease.
Dogs do that it's like people. Our dog, we had to put to sleep last year. She got cancer and she lost like 30 pounds. Big dog. She was a black lab. Chocolate lab. And all of our dogs have had some kind of issue. Usually when they pass away, almost all of our dogs we've had to put to sleep other than one got by car.
Lucky. She wasn't so lucky.
No. And so that's that. And that's
so they were talking about this midget Kiss. Do they do like a Kiss show, like Kiss Rock and Roll?
No, I think yes, I have heard of them. They dress up like Kiss.
About them.
They dress up like Kiss, and they're midgets. And another funny thing, if you ever used to have one long time ago, I think it was at the Buffalo Chip we seen when we first went out there. They had midget bowling. funny as hell. It was funnier because of how they treated you. You throw them down, they had like old football helmets on, and they would yell, "Is that all you could do?" And they were really good. Well, if you watched our wrestling one, it was the one, not the one I just put on, the one we had back in Panama Beach. I'll redo that one again. I'll put because somebody said I could have did a whole video just on that wrestling, because it was really good. The lighting sucked big time.
And we told them, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I guess it's going to get dark." And if we wouldn't have told them, we'd have been sitting there in pitch dark.
Yeah, nobody would have seen nothing. It's really sad. Well, see, that's the difference between us. And, we're not trying to tell anybody how to do their business or run their show or Shade Valley or Larry or anybody like that. But what we do different is we're not coming to the rallies to have a good time, really. Or this isn't our vacation. We're actually working all these things. So we look at it differently than what you would be looking at. So that's what kind of makes us a little different from anybody else that's out here. A lot of the other YouTubers are out there. You don't see them when they go to these rallies like this. You don't see them pumping a video out every day. They try to do a couple of videos, and then pretty soon you don't see them for a few days, and then you don't see them until after they've gotten home, because they figure out it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to spend $1,500 to get someplace, pay to rent someplace, and then turn around and spend all that time putting out a video. And now we're just different. I like to work. I like to do stuff. I like to stay busy. I have a lot of fun with this. I love Sturgis just because we've gotten the power we've gotten in Sturgis. Not that I'm really power hungry, but it's just like it's like Rod. I would have never dreamed this guy remembers who we are, or even knew who we were after we were there for a while. And it was just, to me, it's humbling, because I just figure we're nobodies. We got 15,000 subscribers. There's people out here with, Prime Cut Pro's got almost 900,000 subscribers now. That his buddy Awesome Dockery, I think he's got around 500,000. Now they've been in business a lot longer than we have, and they're in Florida, so they've got the mud runs and all that, and a lot of stuff that we don't have access to that they do. Well, they started with spring break, so they got that spring break crowd, and so they're more showing more than what we show. More. They're different kind of YouTubers than we are, and which is fine.
More information. Last
couple of videos I put out are kind of like their style. A lot of quick video, a lot of quick edits. You see 5 or 6 seconds of a video, and it goes to a next one. It goes. One of the things about it, those are easier to edit, because if you lay them all on there, you're just cutting up pieces of that editing, and you're just laying it. A few minutes later, you lay it again, and it makes it's not too bad. And and then when we redid the Daytona or Don's at Lakeland, Florida, which we're going to go back which somebody told us today, but going to go back and try to talk to Donnie. And I don't know if there's anything else we want to talk to Don about. Somebody wanted me to talk to him about dealership. I don't think he's going to tell you anything different about what today, because if you go to Lakeland Harley, you're bound to see him if you go in the morning time. He's there. That's how we met him. When we talked to one of the general managers or whoever we talked to who did the interview with us, he says, there's a guy you need to go talk to, Don. Well, it took us about 3 hours to finally get him to let us come to his property. And
he was, I don't know what,
doing other stuff. But he's a retired guy, just having a good time, enjoying life.
And you should have seen the car he was driving.
I did. That showed up at the end of the video.
Did it?
Yeah. That if you watch the second part.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch the second part, you didn't see it.
So Loco says he's working right now too. Oh, on his Jim Beam.
Curls.
Thanks for the cool videos.
And so we try to give you some good stuff. Like I say, the video we're going to have, I don't know when this one's going to come out. We also have the number one thing. If you're riding your bike to an event like Sturgis or Daytona or any of those, you're riding to it. Not that, hey, I live here and I'm going to ride over to Laughlin. That wouldn't be a ride. But I mean, if you're traveling overnight, we're going to show you the best thing you've got to buy. If any of you watching your channel, you probably might see it, but don't say anything to anybody. We're going to do an in-depth video on it. Speaking of that, I can't believe all these YouTubers that are showing all this junk that people are buying. Honestly, And I've seen a lot of you say, don't, you guys stay true to who you are. And no matter what we do, and we're going to do some stuff with Ciro at the beginning of the year. Now, if they want me to put all their logos and all that stuff over my thumbnail, then we probably won't be doing nothing for them. Because my idea is of doing this is we're going to show you if they want to give me something to put on my bike and try it out. And if you guys want to buy something down the link, that's great. I'm going to pay taxes on it anyway. That's why we're waiting until after the first of the year. I don't want to be taxed this year on it. We already made too much. We didn't make too much money here, but I pulled a bunch of money out of my 401 to build my building, which we're going to talk about that soon. Waiting for them to survey my lot. I bought an acre lot that we're going to build a steel building on.
It's a slow process.
Probably while we're in Florida, they're going to be building my building. I probably won't get to see it until we come back in August. Won't be able to see my building till August. See pictures of it probably, but maybe we get Art to come over and film it for me.
Jim will be here.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. But the idea of that building is one, to put my trailer in there because the sun out here cooks everything that's outside. My truck has to sit outside. It won't fit in our regular garage. It sits up too high. It's just stock, but it just sits up too high. I'm going to put that out in the garage. We got a boat. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But one of the guys that I think we're staying with down in Florida, we need to get a hold of him and see if he's interested in doing anything for us while we're there. Or if we just drop it off.
I emailed him. He never emailed me back.
Maybe call him. Get his number.
He didn't give us a number. Just an email.
So hopefully he's still around and it's okay. So that was supposed to be our prime place to stay this year in Daytona. But we've also got our other place we stayed last year. And that's a really good place too. But this other one would have been neater because it would have been at the other end of town. And so we're still working on that. Hopefully it'll all work out. So we'll see how that all happens. And so the building, we're going to build the building. And the other thing we're going to do is I'm hoping that we can set something up that we can build bikes for veterans. I'm probably thinking, which we don't know yet, we're going to talk to Rod at the Buffalo Chip because he does a lot of the stuff he does. Let's see, I was going to get a 501c. That's like going to cost me like $5,000 to get a nonprofit tax exempt form to get this all done. You almost have to just hire a lawyer to do all your paperwork. And I can't do that. I just can't justify spending that kind of money to get it. So now I've got to find somebody else that we can run the nonprofit through. So we don't want anything to do with money. But what we've planning on doing was it'd be great if we could set something up like a GoFundMe page and you guys could help us support these bikes. Because I'm afraid, I thought we could maybe get some of these dealers to give us a couple of year-old bike, but that doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So my other choice is to go to, there's a place that sells insurance bikes that have been wrecked. Sometimes it's just somebody dropped the bike and just, it's on a motorcycle, you drop it and you dent the gas tank and a fender and break the fairing and that's $10,000 worth of damage. That's probably cheap. And so they total it. So you can go in there and pick up these bikes for a couple $1,000s. And then the idea would be to take it. I have access to somebody that if it hits something, we could have the frame checked to make sure it's certified and all that. But we have a lot of different people that are our vendors that would help us do the seats and, put stereos in it or put some detailing paint on it, some pinstripes, things like that. But then might be things that need to be bought. Like maybe I need to buy a new fender. Well, so some of these YouTubers out here that have, a dozen motorcycles sitting in the garage, they doing pretty well. They got 2 jobs. The wife's got a great job. And he's got a great job and they've got money and we don't have a lot of money. We're okay, but we're not rich. And I've spent, by the time my building's done, I will have spent half of my retirement money on this building to get it done. But the idea of it is hopefully we can do, and that's why we're looking at next year not doing the fall rallies. We won't be down in Florida or Myrtle Beach for the fall rallies. We're going to be only down there for the spring rallies this year. And then if everything goes, we don't know about Ocean City now. I've had several people tell me to blow Ocean City off, that it's not worth going to. It's really gone downhill. And so I don't know. Because the bad news would be is we'd have to drive back and forth across the United States twice.
We'd be at Sturgis. We'd have to go all the way to the East Coast and then drive all the way back
to Arizona. And so then next year we'll be here for the October for Las Vegas Bike Week, where we'll be covering that. We may even go back up and see.
You're going to Galveston, so that's November.
Yeah, November will be Galveston. We'll be down there, and we're definitely going back to Galveston. We got that set up again.
And Rocky Point.
And Rocky Point. We'll be doing those down. That'll be really only our fall stuff that we'll be doing. And then the other time we'll be back, hopefully. I still got to put electric in it, and I have to put my septic tank in. And
then even when we get back the end of August, that's still only going to be September.
Electric and the water is not going to take me very long to put in. The septic tank's the one that's going to be a real pain in the butt. Getting that all put in. I'd like to do it myself, but I just got a feeling it's going to be more than I can handle. So probably.
So Neil said a little tax write-off for you would be to buy a few acres out in Sturgis and rent it out and call it Pateen Nation.
We looked at property there, could not find nothing. I wish we would have looked 2 years ago, because we could have bought some property right there next to the Buffalo Chip that was sold for about $150,000 for 6 acres, and I would have spent that. But the only bad news is they sold 6 parcels there, and 2 of the parcels can't have a septic tank on it because of the way the ground is, the rocks or whatever it is. It would cost you more than what the property was, what you paid for the property. But it would still be all right to put a trailer on to, but I mean, if you don't have that, you might not be able to drill for water either. So you'd have to haul water in.
Got the sewer inspection. That part's done. You just got to get the sewer put in.
Yeah. So we already got it's all inspection's been done. We haven't given it to the city yet. We're waiting for 2 things right now. I'm not building anything or doing anything on my lot until I have survey stakes put in. And that's what we're waiting on, because we have 2 people in town here that do surveying. And if you know anything about Arizona right now, it is hot selling faster than guy bought a lot right next to us. Went up for sale, and 1 day or 2 later, the guy bought it.
We bought ours in the first
and he bought a hole.
Listed.
He's got to bring out hundreds and hundreds of truckloads of dirt or rocks to fill in his property, where ours was pretty level. So
people that owned ours before got it all set up to build a house on it, but just never did. Yeah. So ours was at least.
So we've already got that all done. We've already talked to the electric company. We talked to the water company. Everything's pretty much at the property there. I don't have to drill a well or anything like that. Just septic's the most expensive to put in. So probably looking another $10,000 probably to put the septic tank in. That's my guess. But we haven't got that far yet.
We got around
$12,000.
Yeah,
put a freaking chain link fence around an acre of land. But it's concrete. It's rocks. You got to drill every freaking post and put in. So I don't know. We haven't checked around. We just talked to the main guy that does almost all the fencing. We did our fence out here. We put a gate up in front of where our RV sits at, and a gate entrance. And he did a great job there. But I mean, he wasn't cheap there either. I spent $3,000 or $4,000, I think, for that, just to have a gate put in. But that's okay. And so that's some of the plans that we've got set up for this year. And things could definitely change, things like that. We've still got, first rally this year is going to be Daytona. We're hoping to be sometime in February being in Florida. And I'm hearing this booking up pretty fast too. You better call some of those people to get our places set up for any excess days. So that's really going good. I don't know if there's anybody on here. We still have, if you're looking to go to Daytona, we have the full time from the 6th to the 13th or something.
Something like that.
It's $1,200 for an RV with, you got electric, water, you got 30 amp, 50 amp. They give you a free dump every 3 days. They come and dump you out, suck you out for free. They bring a truck in.
They give you three passes to get dumped.
Yeah, we used 2, and so
from the
I could have got away with 1, but we figured out the heck the guy's there. Maybe I only did it once. I don't know. So look and see. If anybody's interested in that,
the 3rd through the 13th, so it's for 10 days.
Yeah, so it's $1,200. That's total price. If somebody's interested, all we would do is, we're not selling it to you. We would, if somebody's on here, because we can cancel up to 48 hours before we show up. We'll cancel, and so I've been wanting to tell you guys about that. And so in case there's somebody looking and they want to go that whole time, and where we're at is we're not in the racetrack. I hear that's a horror night to be inside the racetrack. And you're on the back side. We're on the back side, and it's easy access. It's right there off of Speedway Boulevard. You make a road. You make a right-hand turn off, depending on which way you're going, left or right. You go on. We're on the, I don't know what turn that is. Probably 1, 2, 3. Probably turn 4 we're on that corner, but we're across the street. We really couldn't hear anything in our trailer, but when you get out early in the morning, you could hear the bikes out there, the cars, whatever was running on the track. You could hear them meow, meow, around the track.
How's it go?
Like a cat.
That's what it sounded like.
So, but if anybody's interested, let us know. We'd be happy to give you the information. And then what we do is we would call them. We would tell you when we're going to call and give them your name. And then we would cancel ours. You guys could jump in.
Los Alvarez wants to know if the weather conditions for riding from California to Daytona, is it doable or is it worth the headache?
California, Daytona. We wanted to do it, me and Art. We had talked about that years ago going, well, see, you just don't know about the weather. When we came across last year, we hit that ice in Texas. If we would have been on a motorcycle, we were getting there early. I don't know, when was the ice storm? When did we go through there? Did we get there?
We left early to try to avoid the ice storm and ended up getting right in the middle of it.
And so it's one of those things that it's a gamble. And what's bad about Daytona is, well, I guess you could go to the Cabbage Patch or because I think the Cabbage Patch, they got an area in the back that they have a campground that has nothing on it. There's no utilities or nothing. I think it's $10 a day. And you can stay on there. And I don't know what the Crackleberry, what they charge for just tent camping. Because that would be the only bad thing about it if you were going to ride from California to Daytona and you didn't make it because of weather or something, you got held up and
you got charged for your room or your camp spot or whatever.
So that would be the point I would be afraid of. So the only other choice would be is you'd have to have a backup plan to where you'd say, hey, we want to ride to Daytona, like me and Art, we're going to ride to Daytona. We look at the weather for that week and you got to figure you're going to have to book to get there because you can't rely on the weather changing. So you're going to need to do 600, 800 miles a day would be my goal of trying to do every day to get there. And I guess that's 2,000 miles from California. I don't know.
No, it'd be close to 3,000, I think.
No, I don't think it'd be that far. Because you always
what part of California?
Well, I'll just say Southern California. Say from San Diego to Daytona. Just look that up real quick. And
between Daytona and San Diego.
And so that would be if you'd have to have a backup plan. So if you had a trailer set up that you could throw your two bikes on or whoever you're riding with, because I don't, unless you're a real serious rider, I wouldn't do it by myself. It's nice to have somebody that you could stop at rest stops and things like that. And you can chat with somebody. Now we've been really lucky. We've never had, knock on wood, we've never had any trouble with our bikes as we traveled. We never had a flat tire. Now we did when we and her went north, the tire fell off the rim. That wasn't a big trip. That was, we were going to go see fireworks in San Francisco, and he didn't.
Which I didn't get to do.
Yeah. So
more concerned with the ice, he said.
Yeah.
Well, normally you wouldn't have ice in Texas.
That's right.
But this last year you did. So if you got everything all fixed up and ready to go, and then they got another ice storm, then you'd be in trouble.
Yeah. But I mean, you'd be in trouble even if you had a car, if depending on how many days ahead you were planning on getting there. Well, I mean, like we go to Sturgis, and we can have bad weather in Sturgis too. We've come through, coming back from Sturgis, we hit 127 degrees coming through Mesquite, Utah. Thought I was going to die. And I couldn't breathe. The air was so hot, I just couldn't get a breath. We stopped for probably 2 to 3 hours to cool down. And I ended up having to put one of them bandanas. She soaked it in water and tied it across my face, and I could at least breathe. Because we had reservations in Vegas. She's like, let's just stay here. I said, no, we already paid for this. We're going to Vegas. And so it was like another 50 or 60 miles, and we made it. But I mean, things like that happen. I mean, we've been to Sturgis, same thing. We've gone to Sturgis and we've hit rain, and me and Art came back, we hit snow. So, things do happen when you travel, but normally we've always done really well. We've never gotten really behind on what we do, but we don't. On this kind of trip, like when we do Sturgis, or if I was going to go to Daytona, the bad thing would be is we wouldn't be sightseeing. We wouldn't be stopping and seeing things. And that's like when we go to Sturgis, we don't really stop and see nothing.
That's what he misses.
Yeah.
He likes
and see, when we go up, we've done the Redwoods and and I wanted to do that this year, and Art couldn't get off. And there I do that. We stop all the time. That's one of the things I miss about riding a motorcycle. But when I think about it, I wouldn't do that if we were going someplace. If we were riding to Daytona, on the bike. I ain't got time
He's
to
on
stop
a
at the
mission.
Alamo. We ain't stopping at the Alamo and go through the Alamo and all that kind of crap.
He's not
We
going to
don't have
stop
time
to see the
for that.
biggest ball of twine.
No.
Like they did in Christmas Vacation, the House of Mud.
Yeah, we ain't stopping
We
none of
watched-
that going to. But I mean, if it's
So
when we're coming back,
Huckleberries is $30.
geez, that's kind of high. $30 for a freaking tent spot.
That's what Rapping says.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's kind of
I-
high. I'm not saying that he gave me the wrong information. I'm just saying that's kind of high. But you could stay on the other side, and I'm pretty sure the owner there that owns small place,
Cabbage Patch,
that he said it was $10 to stay back in his campground. But I don't know. We drove through it. I mean, it's just boondocking. Boondockings have no utilities around them. Maybe it's tent camping.
That was horrible last year. He's this Lewis, the one that's asking about going to Daytona. He got caught in Northern California in the fires in Salt Lake, going to Sturgis this last year. Those fires were horrible.
All them fires. That's the bad thing about California and all that kind of stuff out there. They have all those fires. We used to work for a utility company. I worked the San Bruno fires. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I worked those. And,
Santa Clara, he was up there.
Yeah, up there. Up by Sacramento and San Francisco and all that
Twine.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Biggest ball of twine.
So yes, I've done all that, and yeah, that's the problem when you're going so far. You've got to figure out how you're going to do stuff. That's why I said some of these guys, when they say, hey, I do it all in one day. Well, great for you. I'm glad you can ride from Chicago to Daytona in one day. I wouldn't want to do that.
There was a couple guys we met. There must have been. Was it the spring rally? I don't know. They said when they left, they had to dig their motorcycles a path out of their garage and drove through like 2 foot of snow through Chicago down to get to Daytona.
Which I heard a lot of people. I think in New York, they had a lot of snow too.
New Jersey,
all
those people.
And one of the girls that was on one of our subscribers actually was planning on coming and had to cancel because the weather. She couldn't get out. So yeah, that's the kind of things you got to think about when you're in. You don't think about that when you're in Florida, and you don't think about like when we're here in Arizona. We got 30 miles away in Kingman. We got snow. Williams has got snow up by the Grand Canyon. They're going to get another dump of snow this week, and 45 minutes to Kingman.
So Denny and I don't know the other name. They said they learned a lot from us going to Daytona.
Oh, okay. Appreciate that. And so we're going to try to do that. We're going to try to make some contacts. See, what's bad about Daytona is Daytona doesn't, we really need to talk to the mayor because I couldn't believe if any of you seen our live before we left. The mayor in Daytona and the city council were going to sit down. They sat down 2 weeks before the rally and was trying to figure out how can we make this a better rally? Maybe they've changed their mind. Maybe they got new management, new elected officials in there, and maybe they want to change things and make it better. Maybe they do. Maybe they got a different heart about what they want to do. But I mean, it's they chase, the Rossmeyers are gone. And that's one of the reasons the Rossmeyers are gone. That whole Beach Boulevard, they were trying to say, how can we make that better? Well, you done chased everybody away. You took the stupid park. You're going to let morons have lunch over there. Screw them. Put some vendors in there. You can eat lunch in their damn high-rise apartment or complex or whatever the hell they're working at. E.G. Edwards or whoever the hell the morons are down there. Telling you, just like it is. But I mean, it happens like that. And that's the part where we need to sit down and we talked to was it Daytona Police last year we talked to? Or 2 years ago? Spring. We talked to, what are they looking at? They see the naked woman?
No, they said, it's a Leia. This thing, is that what you're talking about? It's a Leia.
You got laid.
That's what it is. It's not a bag of oranges and pantyhose. I guess that's what they saw.
No, we don't have any pantyhose in here. They all get thrown away.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you the last time I wore pantyhose. No snow in Myrtle Beach, just Yankees.
Yeah. So we'll see what all happens for next year. And so that's what we want to try to do is we did talk to one of the police officers. Was it Daytona or Ormond Beach that we talked to? I think it was Daytona.
Daytona, we talked to a police officer.
But we didn't go on camera because then we didn't really ask for permission. But then after Sturgis last year, and the police chief said, yeah, come on in. And he didn't ask for a sheet of paper. He didn't ask for anything ahead of time. He was great. He did a great job. A couple people kind of said the bad things about him, but I mean, you always get the trolls that say stuff. And some of these people.
Well, he was just very professional. I mean,
And
he just said,
and he talked in a monotone and things like that. And he kind of said the way it was. And I was okay with that. I thought it was a good interview. And we had a lot of people, a lot of you said it was a good interview too. So we want to do some more like that. Maybe we'll talk to the city of Daytona. We definitely need to talk to Ormond Beach and talk to some of the officials there and get them on camera and stuff and talk to them about what's going on. We got to get with the Rossmeyers. We really didn't. The fall rally was just a mess. That's one of the reasons we're not going to go back down there for the fall rallies because Daytona was just too short. We never made it out to Cabbage Patch, Cracker Barrel. Never even got time to get out there. There was just so much stuff.
Hanging from the ceiling. The lights?
Oh, those are my lights that are up there. They are rope lights.
Hey, turn them on.
By the little chain. But if I turn them on, there's a bad glare on us. So I turned them off. Because I had them on, but I turned them off. And because I didn't want us to look really bad.
Where's the naked lady?
There's not a naked lady, I don't think, back there. They're over there.
Oh, the little lighter things.
Oh, yeah. Those are Hooter lighters. And I don't really have the grandkids coming here. So I don't really have any Gladly.
You had where was that one thing at? Oh, I guess she's not naked either. I don't know. Didn't you have something like a tray, a serving tray?
Yeah.
He's got some Playboy stuff. My parents moved out.
Here's all the beads she used to get in New Orleans. Some of them are broke.
That was a long time ago. Checked it out Arlington Heights last year.
We got some motorcycle ones. Those are her bead collection.
I bought some of those.
No.
I did.
Didn't buy any of them.
Yes, I did.
She got some really good voodoo ones. And guy goes, and I'm like, if you give her those. Okay. Give her the beads first. So yeah, that was a long time ago. She's not so risque as she used to be. Now she's a mama.
Yeah. Grew up and grew wise. I don't know. They're all talking to themselves.
So
Getting ready for rain in Sacramento.
We're getting rain here on Tuesday.
Wild Tam. That was my license plate.
Yeah, we have
not Wild Child.
There's a license plate out in the garage from her car, her convertible, which we still have. It's been $700 on it. Electric fuel pump went out. I think the guy screwed me. Should have done it myself, but it was in the gas tank.
I hear Charlie crying.
So on the back of her car.
What you did for all them beads.
What did you do for the beads?
No, he says, what did you do, Bob?
I didn't do nothing. See, New Orleans, you can't.
He got me drunk. That's what he did.
I had to kick her out once. Twice we had to carry her back to the room at 9:00 at night.
Long time ago.
And we went on, finished partying. So a lot of pictures and videos of that too, but that was back when you didn't have high quality cameras. Got a lot of DVDs, or not DVDs, but CDs with a lot of pictures on them. Of other girls, not her. Mm-hmm. Other girls. So that was back in the wild days. That's why I say if you want to go to, we've been to New Orleans during Mardi Gras. And
it's not the same anymore. I don't know if it's because we're older. I don't know.
But Rocky Point it's like Mardi Gras on motorcycles. I was never so amazed by how people were down there. You had all these motorcycle clubs down there from all over. They were from Mexico, California, Texas. Everybody got along. We didn't see any fighting. Not saying there wasn't anything, but we stayed down there one evening pretty long. But didn't see anything. And everybody got along. And it was nice. And it was a good atmosphere and good party crowd. And, you seen crazy stuff. It's stuff like old bike shows used to be, where you used to be able to do the burnouts down Main Street and do wheelies and crazy stuff. And they're doing all that down there. How nobody got killed, I don't know. But
yeah, because they would do the stunt. I mean, everybody's standing in the middle of the road and they just start doing all these stunts. And I mean, they're like right in front of you. I mean,
this lady had a Can-Am doing a burnout, and it started going over. It had to be within an inch of this girl's foot. She didn't even move. The girl didn't move. I don't know if she didn't see it coming at her, but I mean, it's just nuts. But I mean, it was a lot of fun, and it'd be great.
Go with us, rapping.
It'd be great to have a group of people go, and maybe we know one of the bars. We talked to the guy, and he's pretty friendly. I don't know if he'll still be there next year.
Caesar.
And he was like, yeah, come on in. We didn't go back up there at night, but during the day, he gave us free beer. He was doing a video on him. Yeah, well, we didn't ask for anymore. We yank one beer and like, we want to do other videos. And so it was really neat. And Galveston's another one like that too. Galveston people said that you're going to see a very diverse crowd, and you do. Very diverse crowd. Same thing. Everybody seemed to get along, and which was, and somebody told us that, and I didn't notice that. And people we talked to were all very cordial, and same thing. Didn't see any real trouble down there. Not saying there wasn't, because we didn't stay down there on what's the main drag everybody's standing on? Myrtle Beach.
One was the Strand.
It's the Strand. The Strand is the main drag that everybody's standing on and looking at it.
Seawall.
And the seawall is where the vendors are at. And it's different. The reason we want to go back down to Galveston is because we're going to go down there extra early, and we want to go down and stay on the beach down in Galveston and all that. And so that's one of the reasons we're going back there early. I probably wouldn't do Galveston again. A lot of people complained about the parking when I showed that those bikes being towed away. I had a problem with the signs, but we were at another venue. We had another venue. Was it Mexico that had the sign? Someplace we were just at a venue that had the same cardboard signs that said no parking.
It must have been Mexico.
No, it was something that there were going to be parades. Where we were at the other day?
Oh, down in Huntington.
Huntington Beach, down in California. They had all these little cardboard signs telling people you couldn't park on the street.
Or Laguna Beach, or one of the beaches.
I don't know if they're going to have a parade. I don't know what they were doing. It was around Thanksgiving. So, but exact same. But we've seen bikes towed away before. We've seen Sturgis. We've seen 200 or 300 bikes towed away several years ago in Sturgis. People parked on a no parking street. I think it was actually where the post office is at. Towed them all away. Not one soul came back to get it. So, and people say, "Oh, I'm never going to go to Galveston because they did that and they did this and they did that." You first of all, you can't park just because everybody else does it. Doesn't mean it's okay for you to park there. You got to take some responsibility. Then when the two people I did talk to there that had their bikes towed away, I said, "Did you pay?" What? There's a sign? Hello? There was a big giant sign that said you had to pay there anyway during the day to park at the beach. So they didn't even do that. So now somebody else said that they did, and they never got back with me on it because I said, you got a lawsuit. If you paid the fee and they accepted the money and they towed your bike, well, what happened to that couple was that the bike didn't get towed. They had to give them $300 or something to drop their bike down, but they broke their ignition lock on a brand new bike. Well, the bad news is they probably gave them cash and they probably got no receipt. So they probably got screwed. And if you ever do anything like that, you always want to get receipts or get pictures or video because they want to know if we had a video of it. If I only had one bike there. If that's the video that's on the video, we were live. I didn't film anything extra there. So I didn't have anything. I wasn't there really, My idea of why I went live immediately was because I wanted to let everybody know, hey, if any one of these bikes are yours and you're watching on your phone or something, and come back and get it. Because one guy was standing there, he's like, what's going on? I said, is that your bike? Yeah. I said, get on and get the hell out of here, dude. Get on.
You're going to get towed away.
And he's like, what? Yeah. And he got on it. And he's like, what do I do? I said, well, you got a ticket on your bike. You probably still going to have to pay the parking ticket. But don't stand around and wait for them to tell you you can go because they're probably going to tell you they're going to tow it away. So
there was somebody on here from Canton, Ohio. I had some cousins that lived up there. That's where we took the trailer that got blown away. That was in Canton, Ohio. But that was up their way, so he's talking and I can't interrupt.
Up north.
Yeah. So anyway. Rocket Point. To find lodging and food. Well, my cousin lives down there, so we stayed with her, so that was free.
Well, they say that they've got some big resorts down there. But she tells me that you can get in there for less than most of the places, less than $100 a day. And you don't really need it. It's not a big rally. I think it started on Thursday and it was over on Saturday. So it's not a big rally, long time you're going to be there. Now, if you're going to if you're going to go with a bunch of people, rent a house. We've seen a bunch of people rent a house. That was their off time. So they're going to be a lot cheaper there than if you're going down there at Christmas time or January, trying to get some nicer weather for Christmas and stuff like that. It's like going to Cabo or Cancun or anything like that. That's their prime time in the early part of the year. Right there in November, nobody's really there yet. So there's a lot of empty homes. So that would be something to look into. If you guys want information, we could probably check with her cousin and find out if there's how do you find out about renting the houses or whatever's going on. So we could do that for you.
I looked at that Dreamweaver, but I kept putting in dates and it kept saying it had no idea what I was talking about.
There's a little hotel that she said it had a handful of rooms that is right down. It's like 3 blocks away from the port,
Main
Old
Street.
Port. Oh, there's actually a bunch of different stuff going on. We didn't make it to all the places down there. It was the bar they went to. Is it Mandy's? The bar they went to last night. We didn't go.
Yeah,
and they said that's a really happening place. We never made it back there. We ended up just staying in that Old Port because to me that was enough going on that we didn't need to film any more than that. But when we were leaving, the people there that they were putting it on really wanted to. They gave a free shout out on their Facebook page for us and told people to watch us.
I got one on the tree, a mirrored ball.
And so we, I don't know, I lost my thought now.
Down there, you stayed in the main port because there was enough stuff going on there.
So that was fine because it was, you could get down there and you could park on there because once the rally started at a certain time, you didn't have to pay for parking down there. It was all free. You could park anywhere you want. People even parked in the red zones. And I was kind of worried, but the whole time I seen the police down there didn't do nothing. Just walked around a lot.
Made a present.
Took a picture with them. We got them on one of the videos. They were nice. Spoke only. That was the only thing that was big down there is the majority of the people spoke Spanish.
No hablo English.
Yeah. And you could point. They had menus. Most of the menus were in English. You point to what you wanted, and then and they go get it for you. And then some of them had broken English. Some had no English. We even had to use our phone at one of the places we went and Google to get what we wanted. And but I mean, other than that, it was okay. They had a Sam's down there. We never made it into a big giant Sam's down there. And they got one little area that's got like nicer stores and stuff in it. But I mean, it's like any other part of Mexico. It's run down. It's
third world country.
But I mean, it's not, really didn't see any trouble. We rode around a little bit by ourselves, out to the resort area and stuff like that, all by ourselves. And the roads aren't the greatest in the world. They got a lot of, you don't want to go fast down these roads. They got potholes. They're not really holes. They're just, the asphalt's not there anymore. And you hit the dirt and rocks or whatever it is.
And stop signs, hidden stop signs, because the roads are so wide. And then way over there in the corner, it's like, we just
that's
passed
what
the
our
stop
cousin
sign.
said. It's the number one thing they give you tickets for is for run and stop. And we've seen a lot of people run stop signs. A lot of people. We didn't see anybody get pulled over until we were heading home. Well, right before you get there's a border town, right before you get into town, and people are doing about 80 to 90 miles an hour in between the two towns. And when you get to this next town, they're doing speed check. When one cop car catches somebody, they pull around. Well, they actually pulled over a car. Didn't even pull a motorcycle over. So we were already tucked in behind a bunch of other bikes and behind we were behind 3 cars, I guess. Those motorcycles flew past us and we stayed behind the cars. We were doing 85 and that was fast enough for me. And that road wasn't too bad. It wasn't, they call it a free zone. And so I'm assuming on that path, they're not going to give you a hassle or anything in this free zone. And there's really nothing in between there. You got to get gas before you go. We got gas before we went across the border, and then we got gas after we got down there. And gas was about the same price. It was about $4 a gallon for gas for premium. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't as shocking as what I was expecting when we went down there. And of course, it's on in liters. So, but I mean, you calculated it back out. But the only thing I have to go down there again, which we will do next time, because I've always done it and I didn't do it this time, get you some pesos and change the money over and don't pay with your credit card. Used to be we paid with a credit card. It was always a transition and they always gave you the right price. Those places got too smart down there. They go down there now and they say, you're going to put your credit. Oh, it's $10. And they run it through for $10. And then your credit card company charged you a couple bucks for running it. So now you paid more. And we found out when we did one calculation, I don't know what we were buying, but we ended up paying $5 more than what we should have paid. I don't think it was a place we ate at or something. So the guy ended up with a $10 tip instead of a $5 tip. So I learned next time.
Rocky Point, yeah, not Rocket. And it's called...
well, it's actually... Mexicans down there do not call it Rocky Point. That's not the name of the town. The town is...
Puerto Penasco.
which stands for Rocky Beach or Rocky something. So I guess I don't know why.
Rocky Port.
But when you're heading down there through Arizona, it'll tell you Rocky Point, so many miles, Rocky Point. So it tells you that. And a couple signs
That's
down
what
in
Gringos
Mexico said,
call it.
yeah. So a couple signs on the way into Mexico actually called it Rocky Point too. But some of the locals get upset when you call it Rocky Point. And I've had someone come on here. We picked up some Spanish people from Mexico, I guess Mexicans probably, that watch our channel and have commented that it's not really Rocky Point. I understand that. The rally's called Rocky Point. And
you have a Merry Christmas too, Neil. And everybody that's on 51. We've been on an hour and 19 minutes.
All right. So we got about another 15 minutes or so, and we'll wrap this up for tonight. So we'll probably come out next Sunday and do our one more Sunday before we get to Christmas. And we're not going anywhere for Christmas. We're staying here. The kids are supposed to come out maybe a couple days after Christmas or something. We'll wait and see. And see how that all goes. So we've got some stuff going on with the Laughlin River Run is gone. It's now called the Bullhead River Run. And we're going to be giving you some good information on that coming up here this week, even on Wednesday. If everything goes right. And so we'll give you a lot of good information about that. We'll start talking pretty soon. We'll start after the first of the year. We'll start making more phone calls. We'll be contacting Daytona and Ormond Beach, the Rossmeyers, checking out when Willie's Tropical Tattoo is going to be and all that good stuff for his bike show. I always like that one. That to me, and spring's a lot better than the fall one. I had a lot more bikes there in the spring. And so that's pretty neat. And we'll have some stuff on St. Augustine's and stuff. And we'll be giving you information on that. And so pretty exciting. Got a lot of things coming up in the new year. So we'll be in Florida for about a month doing nothing. But
you just sound like you are slowing down.
Just thinking. And so, yeah, we'll see how it all goes. And so hopefully we'll get to Florida early. And we want to be hopefully a week or two ahead of time in Daytona. So we can kind of start, we can hit a lot of these places before they get too busy. Like we did, kind of like we did last year. Last year, I think we were there a week early. We got there right after the races, the Daytona 500. We came in that weekend after that, or that week after that. And we were there, I guess we were there a week ahead. And because we went out to the Cabbage Patch and talked to them, the Crackerberry before they opened up. We got to talk to them. Yeah. And we also know the guy.
Because we stayed at
the other campground.
Yes. Before, and then we moved.
Yeah. So you can also look at, so also, if anybody's looking, there's a guy, Easy Camp, I think is what it's called. He's got a contest going on. He's on a bunch of the Facebook pages. He's the guy that we actually did the interview with at the Buffalo Chip, where he sets the tents up. He's got a blow-up mattress and blankets and a lantern, and he got 110. Pretty nice. And
cooler,
somebody else I just talked to that's going to Sturgis just booked with them. They got a 5-year contract with the Buffalo Chip, be there for 4 more years. But it's a pretty nice thing. And I talked to the guy, and he's a pretty nice guy. And we actually, Cam talked to him in Daytona, but they never made it to the editing floor. They actually made it to the editing floor. They never made it into a video. And so maybe if I look at it, maybe I'll put it back up again, or we'll just wait until we get down there and talk to them again. But pretty nice setup if you want to be somebody that all you have to do is bring your clothes. They actually have food and stuff they feed you. You got your own private bathrooms. Not a bad deal. I think in Sturgis, it's $680, I think, for I don't know if it's per person or per tent. I don't know what it was. But then you still got to buy your passes to get into the Buffalo Chip. And but I mean, it's still not bad for the full rally. I think that girl's actually staying 3 days before the rally. She's going to be there. I don't know how they'll get the tents all up. They kind of got the tents up right there at the end. So, I don't know. If she got 3 days, she got 3 days. That's great. And so a lot of neat things going on. And we'll try to get with the Shade Valley that's out here in Sturgis. There are local people here. We're going to see if we can kind of sit down and talk to them. Hopefully we can talk to one of the owners, not so much one of their nephews or grandsons or whatever it is he went on camera. He did the interview with us, Brian or something, I think was his name.
I think. And
did an interview with us in Sturgis. But we had some of you complain about some issues there, and we want to kind of address that with them. And which I don't know if they knew anything about campground until they bought this one. So I don't know. A lot of people get into this. I mean, also a lot of you don't know the One-Eye Jack sold. There's a new owner there. Somebody from Florida, a guy that makes T-shirts in Florida, actually bought it. The owner that's there now, which we talked to his son last year, but he said thought his dad would talk to us, but he never did. And we never really went back. And so now this guy's taken over, but the current owner will stay a little while because, once again, this guy knows nothing about the bar business. And he sells T-shirts. He's got a big print place down in Daytona, so we'll have to see if we can track him down in Daytona and see who he is, and maybe we can talk to him about what's going on and get us an insight into the One-Eye Jacks. Because we know the girl, I don't know if she's still going to be doing it or not. I bet she probably will be. She's
Terry.
Takes care of all the...
She's the manager at One-Eye Jacks.
Yeah.
And she also, in Daytona, she's at Cruisin' Cafe.
And so we'll probably get to talk to her again. And then, got some things lined up for that. And we'll see how it all goes. Pretty exciting. How many people got on still?
51 still.
51.
Roy wants to know where the new logo is.
New logo. Well, the new logo it's the Bob and Tams with the motorcycle underneath it. That's
that one up there.
Yeah, but that's that's our actual. Till we get rid of all those stickers, I can go buy her something else. We're thinking about making ourselves into looking like the Simpsons, being yellow, cartoon people. And what, you didn't want that? I thought you wanted that. And we'll put the dog in there too. And
he quit crying. He must have either gave up or
froze to death.
It's not that cold out there
For him.
He's a California dog. Yes, he is.
So, yeah.
We're having fun and staying safe.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's we're catching up on a lot of things. Had a lot of work to do. Got the truck all serviced. Got the transmission fluid flush. Got oil change. It didn't really need it. It was 3,000 miles over. I had 8,000 miles on the oil change. I normally do it every 5. We should have changed it before we got home, I guess. Somewhere along the line. Didn't notice until after we were already on our way home, and I wasn't going to stop then. We just let the Ford dealer do it because of the warranty. Had the 100,000 mile warranty on it, which is almost there. It's got 82,000 on it. And so we got it all cleaned up. Cleaned the truck all up inside. It's all nice and squeaky clean now inside. And we don't drive it while we're here. We have some other old cars. So Mustang went in and had to spend all that money getting this stupid gas tank fixed. Or the fuel pump.
Which is in the gas tank.
Yeah. So got that fixed, and so that's running. We need to go drive that, and I guess that's the 2 big expenses we had when we got home. And so
the boat.
Yeah, boat. We put a new cover on, and we had to move it. And so normally on this side of the house is where, like right behind us here, or forward, what we're looking at is our pull up for our RV hookup. We have a full hookup on the side of the house. It's a driveway, goes up a hill, and then it's concrete. It's behind the thing. So it sits back there. So when we leave, we take the boat, which is sitting in front of the house in a rock driveway right in front of the house. We put that in where the trailer's at, and then we take the trailer. And so it stays in there the whole time. Well, this year it didn't get driven very much. Normally we take it out on all the holidays. Kids come out. Well, this year we weren't here for all the holidays.
Well, we were here for 2. We just weren't here for Labor Day.
And so the kids came out and took it out one day weekend with themselves, and then we took it out to 2. And so it really hasn't been driven a whole lot. I'm thinking about selling it. So we'll see what happens when we later this year. I'm going to sell it.
Says a 6.7 will run forever as long as you service it.
That's the hope. Well, that's the reason we're looking to cut back, because I'm not looking to put another 80,000 miles on my truck this year. So we put a lot of miles on it last year. And the bad news is if I end up having to buy some of these bikes at these auctions, I may have to travel over the United States and pick up these bikes. So that might be another bunch of crappy miles I have to put back on it. So I don't know yet. We'll see how all that goes. And we still got a few dealers to talk to. And we haven't really got to sit down with our Las Vegas dealerships. The general manager of all the stores, he's been out and about at other stores. Nobody will tell us where he's at. So we're trying to track him down.
One time he was out in Hawaii. He went for a vacation, but they told us that. So I don't know why they won't tell us where he's at. I hope he's not hurt or nothing. Roadkill Ron says he's curious. He wants to find out from our experiences to run the rallies like we do, but with a food truck.
What could be done is you want to know, like somebody was talking the other day about they wanted to go to Daytona
Super
Super
chat.
Thank you for the super chat. Ding.
Thank
First that came
you. She
today.
says, thank you for the great videos.
And we do appreciate all that. It's videos are slowing down. I don't put as many videos out, so we don't make as much money. I watch the money each month. They tell you every day. They tell you where you're at, and right now it keeps dropping and dropping and dropping because we're just not getting the views that I would get when I'm putting a video out every day too. Plus, we're not doing the lives like we're at when we're at the rallies too. So we're going to probably put out. I'm hoping with the talking about the Laughlin here, the new Bullhead City here going on, that we'll have some more videos that you guys might want to be interested in, because that's what it is on the West Coast here. It sucks for rallies. I don't recommend any of them, and this one could definitely turn into, which was Laughlin was the one we used to go to all the time, and in its heyday, which was before we were ever here, even when we came here after the shooting that they had, it was still a great rally then. They had all the casinos here, had vendors on it. We had a lot of the big people were here. That's why I got my work done on my bike. That's how I actually seen a rally. And
That's the first rally we've ever been to.
yeah. So, and then they've had other ones. You know, we have the one over here in Arizona, and can't charge to get into to see your vendors. Now they're changing it this year. It was like $90. It was like going to the Buffalo Chip. And they didn't have that big of concerts. They had Jackal there one night. I think Jackal was their big crowd last year. I think maybe Cheap Trick or somebody was there, and that was it. For $90 a night per person to go see that. So this year they dropped it to where they're going to have the bands in another area, and you'll have to pay more money to go see them. And in the vendor area, it's still going to cost you $12. Isn't your vendors charging your vendors enough money to justify them to come in? It's like, I don't know. Those great people that run the show and trying to put it on. And I imagine the property that they're renting from the Scottsdale fairgrounds or the stable.
Westworld.
Yeah. And they're probably the ones that charge them all the money. Or maybe they have to give them a lot of, I don't know what the story is. But I mean, they got to find a better way to do it, because it's stupid to have to charge people. I'll see out here in California that people are used to that. If you go to like we did, we went to that IMS show, which is the International Motorcycle Show, and they were charging people to get in there. It was $20 or $25 a day to get in there. So these people here in California and stuff, they pay that money. They could care less.
And then you got to pay to park, and then you got to pay. I mean, everything, everything you do. So go in the rally circuit with the food truck.
So it could be done. Now, your problem is you're going to have to find out is with all your permits of each city, you're going to have a permit probably to get into and to do the food, and it could be done, but you'd have to know where you want to go. Like for one, like somebody was asking about Daytona, and I don't know if it was you, but there was somebody was asking about going down there, and everybody was telling them to go to Crackerberry or go to this or that. No, you want to be at Ross Myers. You want to be, that's where you want to be. JP Cycles in that area there. That everybody stops there. Out there at Crackleberry and stuff like that, you're not going to get the people come out there, but there's not enough. I don't think it would be a good place to sit around with a food truck. You know, I don't know if you could get into Daytona, if you could get down there, which you could get down there on Main Street. A lot of crowd come down there on Main Street. It would be a good thing. Sturgis, same thing. You'd want to be at Black Hills Harley. That would be because they have a big crowd come through there. But they've got a big thing there that does food. So I don't know if they would allow anybody else or not. So you want to be someplace you could make money. You're going to sell a lot of food. You know, you could put yourself like in Deadwood and hope that you're going to sell stuff. But, you know, at nighttime, there's going to be nobody there. If you only want to work during the day, then yeah. But it also depends on what kind of food truck you have. What do you got that's going to be different from everybody else? You know, so, you know, anything you do here, I tell people all the time, you could make money doing stuff. You know, not selling mattresses at a rally, but I mean, you could, which we see a lot of that at rallies. You know, there's tons of people selling massage guns now. There don't need to be any more of them coming out. There's already a dozen of them at every rally. So how many massage guns can you buy? And but I mean, what happens is people find out, like the girl that we always talk to. What's their booth called?
Which girl?
With massage guns. They have a clothing booth.
I want to say Blitz, Bling.
They have a clothing booth, and they started selling the guns. And there was already one or two other people selling guns. Now everybody's got those massage guns, and that seems to be the problem. It's kind of like with one sexy biker thing. You know, once she tries to, don't want like other stores to come and looking at her store because she knows they'll end up getting the same product that she has. Well, people should go get their own original stuff and try to sell it and do stuff like that at rallies. Because, who wants to, everybody's selling the same leather jacket and everybody's selling the same leather chaps and everybody's selling all the same stuff. It's, I don't know. It's like downtown Sturgis. If they got one t-shirt place, they got 50 of them down there selling t-shirts on Main Street. It's just insane. And they're all selling the same junk. And so it's tough to try to be, it's like one sexy biker chick says that she'd like, she tries to be a little more up class in her store. And it seems to be that way. But I see a lot of some of her products that she sells probably is in other stores too. But everybody's trying to jump on the bandwagon. Hey, it looks like they're selling that stuff. Let's buy what they're buying. So, it's tough.
Or the Let's Go brand. That's, everybody had that.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's you can make it work. You just have to be in the right location and you need to have the right kind of food that's going to bring people in. And you got to have stuff that you can make money on. The one guy that we talked to this time that he goes to a lot of the rallies, the guy that was in.
Yeah, Big Daddy's Grill.
Yeah. He was on our video in Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. He was there and we did an interview with him. And then he ended up being in, I think he says he goes to Daytona and all that stuff, but we've never seen him. But I mean,
he's out of Crackleberries.
Yeah. And so he's making a living. Now he's doing it full time. So I think this year was going to be his first year that he did it full time. And he's trying to find more place to go to. And we were telling him some of the venues that we go to that the food trucks are different because you want to be someplace, just like at the Buffalo Chip. You sell a lot of stuff when it comes to be the concert night because you can't get in the stupid place. It's so freaking crowded that it's an hour wait to get food at a food truck. So yeah, during the concert for 3 or 4 hours, you can make more money than you can cook food. But then you're not going to do nothing during the day because there's nobody over there. Nobody's out there during the day in the concert area. So now there was a girl that came in and was selling coffee, tea, and all that. And
his angle is Chicago hot dogs, but really he says he can cook anything.
And I don't know.
Ice cream truck. There you go.
But the people we know that used to be out at which they're not doing it anymore. They were out at Crackleberry with the ice cream.
Oh yeah.
They're not doing it anymore because they got a contract where they
Johnny
live.
Poppins.
Yeah, they were at the Full Throttle.
That's Johnny Poppins.
Yeah, he had a good deal at the Full Throttle.
He'll do it. He does Daytona Spring, but that's it. Yeah. And then the rest, he's got this little real close to his house, and it's like a park, and they have all kinds of festivals and stuff going on during the spring, the summer, and the fall. And so he said it's close. He can leave this truck there, and
it also depends on what you're having to pay. Like in Sturgis, if you're down on Main Street, just for the permit for the week of the Sturgis is $1,500. That's the way it is. And if you want to do the 2 weeks, it's $3,000. So now you've got to pay for a lot to rent. So Speed's down there. I think he spends $5,000 to $10,000 for the week that he's there, and so that's a lot of hot dogs. You got to sell. You got $10,000 just in expenses getting there, depending on how far away you are, getting there, getting set up, and getting ready to go. And then how many hot dogs you have to sell to make $10,000? Plus, you got to pay your help unless you're doing it all. I mean, your time's worth something. It's kind of like what we do. We don't make a lot of money doing this, and but we do have expenses, but it's not like what you have. It's not costing me $10,000 to get to a rally.
Well, that's what I said too. I would never want to be in own a restaurant, because I would think there's so much waste you would have to throw away. Either you wouldn't have enough food for the people coming in, or you'd have so much, like if nobody showed up, you'd have all that waste to throw away. I don't know. That's just me, but I've never thought about it. My dad always wanted a restaurant. Ron's Adventures.
So it just depends. Anything.
That's a lot of dogs.
Yeah. So it's. But I mean, it could be made, and it depends on you. Probably if we're going to do something like this, well, one, you got to try to figure out like what we do with the circuit. Here we are. We're going to Daytona. Bad thing about Daytona is there's nothing right after Daytona. So you've got to find, now, I don't know where you're at. If you're in Florida, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
We're coming from Arizona. So that would depend on first, where are you?
So we've got like 6 weeks between Daytona and the next event.
Now they do have, which I don't know if we'll go up there or not. They've got Angel City. They've got a little rally up in Georgia. If you really want to do that, we can give you a phone number of somebody that follows the circuit and does all kinds of things. He does car shows. He does rodeos, all kinds of stuff that he could give you. He would give you all the names and phone numbers of all the people to contact. And he does his business full time. We won't say who he is because I don't want anybody bothering him. But if you want to know, you can email us and we'll get with him and ask him. He's having some surgery done. I don't know if he's had it done yet or not.
I know. I was thinking about
I seen him. He put something on Facebook the other day. I seen he posted something. And we'll check with him and see.
But he knows a lot of people.
He always tells that to us. He's like, oh, it's so-and-so. Oh, do you know them? No.
Here.
Oh, here's their phone number. And sometimes he'll introduce us to people. He's a great guy. He's one of our vendors. He's been on our channel and he's one of our vendors.
I ended up eating all my profits.
Yeah. And so that's why I said it's
Louisiana is where he's from.
Okay. So that's not too bad then.
Fairly central.
Yeah. So you could definitely do the Florida rallies. And then also, just like what we do, we know.
You know our email, bobandtams@yahoo.com.
And you can also, we know a guy that does all the mud runs and all that kind of stuff. I'm assuming they have food out there. But I mean, there are places where you would have to have a food truck because there wouldn't be nothing out there but mud. So we could probably get with him.
Well,
and
they got beer stands and stuff.
Yeah.
So they probably have food trucks too.
So it could be done. But it's like anything else. You're on the road.
So you're in Louisiana. And you're going to do Chicago-style hot dogs? I don't know why they don't have Lucky Dogs all across the United States. Yeah. That is my favorite hot dog, Lucky Dogs. But I guess they're only New Orleans. I've never seen them.
We missed them in New Orleans this year.
I know.
No Lucky Dogs.
We passed them once, and then
it was too early, I think, to eat, or we already ate one of the two. We didn't get our Lucky Dogs.
I said we could have split one.
Yeah, we should have got it.
They're really good.
And but yeah, there's a lot of good things that can be happening in rallies, but the rallies that we see, what ends up killing them is the promoters get too greedy. It's like what Sturgis is happening with Sturgis, downtown Sturgis. They want to charge their Sturgis is going in there, buying all those buildings up, commercial buildings down there. And then what they do is when we're not there, you know what's in those buildings? Boats, cars, trailers. They run it out for storage. Pennies on the dollar. And during rally, Sturgis, during the rally at like Owls, that building's all full of boats and stuff. Tell me that. And so during the rally, then what they want to do is they want to charge some vendor with a 10 by 10 tent. They want to charge them $3,000 or $4,000 to set a booth up inside that building, a 10 by 10 spot. And then you got to pay the $1,500 for the permit too. So it's like, how many freaking t-shirts do I have to sell, or cigarette lighters, or pocket knives, or whatever they're selling? And they're like, we can't do it. Well, then what they do is about a month before the rally, when they don't have those spots rented, they call the local Yahoo up and say, hey, mattress man, you want to come in and sell some mattresses? We'll let you have the spot for $500 for the week. Okay. And so that's why we have all that junk.
Rally in Four Corners in New Mexico.
Yeah, but they told me don't go to that.
Oh, a Lucky Dog is a hot dog. It's a little hot dog vendor stand. And they're the best. If you ever go to New Orleans,
if you watch our New Orleans video, you'll see it. We show you a Lucky Dogs.
So good. And I don't know what's in them. I don't want to know probably, but they're the best
Four
hot
Corners
dogs I've ever eaten.
Is a bunch of people told us about Four Corners, and one guy was trying to tell me how great it was and all that. And I've heard a lot of different things about it. First of all, there's nothing out there. We went out to the Four Corners, and we went out to the Indian Reservation, and we went to where they say the real Four Corners is at. It's really not the real place, but it is for technical thing, but it's
purposes.
Not. It's not really real. They say you can't really get to where it's at, but who cares? But you say, hey, I'm on the Four Corners, took pictures of it. There might be a video we did on that a couple years ago too. I don't know if we did or not, but
got a picture.
I think there's a bar or two out there that they have this rally at, and that's about all it is.
It's really in Durango, Colorado, I believe. Is where the majority of the stuff is.
Somebody else came on here after that guy was telling me how great it was, and they're like, I was there. It sucked. and if we got nothing better to do, we'll probably swing by there. But I mean, we've had some friends that get out there and they've never said, well, see, some people, it's kind of like going to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, when you go to, what's the town that's got the bar in it?
Eureka Springs.
Eureka Springs. Eureka Springs is kind of like that. Now they're working on making it something really big, but really the big thing there now, Fayetteville's never going to do nothing again. Rogers is where the dealership is. That's where they had it was great. 20 or 30,000 people were there on Friday, and a lot of stuff going on. And they need to build something up there. Now Eureka Springs, they've got a couple bars downtown. One is what's that bar called that guy owns?
The Cat House.
Cat House. What?
He said, I heard Four Corners was really like Squareville, man.
Could be. She gets amused easily. She'll be snorting in a minute. And but I mean, his bar's a really neat place. Doesn't have a very big parking lot, so it's hard to get people in there. It's a really neat bar and really neat place. Great guy that owns it. The food was really good.
Had iced tea?
But the parking lot sucked. There's no place to park. And you get a couple, I don't know if you can get 100 bikes in there or not. But I mean, all of that area down there, there's a couple. We went to a Mexican restaurant across the street somebody took us to, and it was nice. I mean, they had no parking lot either. So what's bad about that little town is they just don't have it. It's not set up for motorcycles. And you almost need, and that's what they're doing.
Set up for cars.
Where the dealership is at, they have their satellite store. They're not selling the bikes there in Eureka Springs. They bought this whole complex. Looks like it used to be like an old Western town or something. Got all these front boards on it, like fronts of a building, but it's really not a building in the back. It's a tin building behind it.
And they had like little stores.
Yeah, something like that. And they bought all that property.
It's called Village Shops, I think it was what it used
so
to be.
So the dealership in Rogers bought it. And they're going to fix it all up, and they're going to make it a biker town. And who knows when that's going to happen. Money's tight now, and with all the things going on. But if they get that all built up, maybe it'll turn into something. But they got some great riding there. That racks up to with my second best riding next to Sturgis is down there in Arkansas. Really great place to ride. So I don't know. I mean, they've had that Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. It's been going on for years too. And I don't know what was going on down in Fayetteville. I mean, their main street was smaller than Daytona's. And they're like, oh man, there's 100,000 people on that street. No, there isn't. Ain't no 100,000 people in a 3-block area. That ain't gonna happen. And we see that when we go to these rallies. Like I said, we did it in Lake of the Ozarks. We counted the bikes, and in a 3-block area, there was 1,500 bikes.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, it looked like a lot of bikes, but when we went along there and counted them, she counted one side, I counted the other side, and we rode up and 1,500 bikes. That's it. It wasn't very many bikes, but it looked like a lot, and a lot of people standing around. Well, when you start counting those bikes, but I mean, you go down there to Galveston. Now it's different. Galveston's is probably, that's a quarter mile or more. That strip is probably. Mm-hmm. It's pretty long. And that wasn't completely full this time when they say normally it is. But same thing. People were trying to say, oh, there's hundreds of thousands of people. No, there was not 100,000 people there. First of all, you had people standing in the street. Well, they were double parking the bikes. So there wasn't a lot of room to stand in the street. On the sidewalk, people were just standing still. So when you looked across the building, you count maybe 25 or 30 people standing in a block area. It looked like a lot of people because people got the lawn chairs out and all that. They're taking up room, and you can't get it really in the street because there's so many bikes there. You can only be single file standing along as the bikes come through. And let's say maybe 10,000 people would be my guess. It was down there on a given night. Galveston was kind of sad. I pictured about 30,000 people there, and that's it. And people are, oh, there's a lot more than that. No, there isn't, because what you got to look at Galveston is, that's it. Galveston. There's nothing else going on anywhere. It's not like Sturgis where people are in Deadwood and people are out in Hill City or out in Custer or they're out at Devil's Tower. Galveston, you're in Galveston. Daytona is kind of like that, but Daytona does have, you got the Crackleberry out there. You got St. Augustine's, people are staying down there. So you do have a few other towns, but not. You got the one what's that bar called? No Name Bar. What's that bar that?
In Galveston?
No, the one that's in Daytona that we never got to. The one that's supposed to have the pudding wrestling.
Yeah, that's the No Name Bar.
And we want to go there this next year.
ISJS.
And show you some pudding wrestling. And that's a pretty neat bar. No Name Bar. Remember what town it was?
It's down by Edgewater, something like that.
They put old motorcycles years ago in the trees.
In the 70s.
And they're like Hondas. There's all kinds of bikes. But the trees have wrapped around and grown on them. You barely can see them. So that's pretty neat.
So we're not in Long Beach. Whoops. That's just where
I got the sign at.
Yeah. Hit the like button.
And we're in our own private bar. This is our garage at home, our third garage.
Yep. And the dog's outside the door whining and crying. What's that?
Bucky's.
He got him a cup. He's got some shirts. Even when we go anywhere, he's got that shirt on there like Bucky's. Everybody knows Bucky's.
Yeah, they're getting bigger and bigger. They're building a lot more stores here and there, and a lot of them. They're starting to build some small ones too. That kind of is going to ruin their name. They didn't keep them big giant ones like they always had. That one store we stopped in was really small compared to all the other ones. And we're going to eventually do a video and put all the Bucky's on there, but I haven't. I found a few videos that I haven't done, and that's why we got the one. We're going to give you the history of the buffalo chip and the owner, tell you all about him. And
did you ever do one of that Indian guy down in Deadwood?
I think I did that.
That was a pretty neat guy too. I thought since the Dons went over real well.
I just don't know how much he talked. I have to go back and look at the video. I seen that there. I seen the video of it. I don't know. I think I stuck it with something else when we did it. It wasn't a video by itself.
I think Galveston is the same one every year. I don't know if it's called the Lone Star Rally. I don't know if there's more than one in Galveston. I think that's the only one.
That's the only rally they have a year. There's other rallies in Texas, but that's the only one that is in
there's
Galveston.
One up in Bandera.
It's actually who puts on the Galveston rally is actually somebody we know that owns another bar that we want to talk to for next year.
Owns a couple bars.
Yeah. So we want to talk to her
in
Daytona and see if we can get something straightened out, because it was kind of just messed up, and some of the things that were going on. You had to pay to actually drive your bike down the main drag. I don't know, but we're hearing some different stories about why, but we figure before we really talk a lot about it, we want to talk to her and see if she'll tell us what's going on, and so we can give out the right information. She won't go on camera. And, but a lot of those women bar owners do not like to talk on camera.
I don't.
So we're okay with that.
Yes, Big Johnson. Bucky's was originally from Texas, I think the first one. Where did we learn the first one was the original? We were going to stop by that one.
It was in Texas. I think it's up around Houston. So we don't really go that way. That's why we didn't see it.
No, I guess they're saying it's just the same thing every year in at the Lone Star Rally.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was our first time there, so we thought it was.
I wanted to go back because I really like Texas, and I wanted to go back down to Corpus Christi and stuff like that and spend a week or so down there. And we were down there a couple years ago, coming back, I guess last year, coming back through there. And this year we didn't have any time to stay. We had to get back.
Because we were going to Rocky Point. So we'd have to go there earlier than later.
Yeah. So and that's the other reason we're doing it, because we're going to do Rocky Point too. So Galveston and go right back to that, go to Rocky Point, and then go back home after that.
This year in Sturgis, we're staying at Kathmandu.
Yep. Kathmandu.
And I think they still have some availability.
Yep.
So I call before the beginning of the year because I think that's when he raises his prices.
Everybody. Pretty much everybody. You need to, which we always did. After we started going to Sturgis the last few years, or last 5 years or so we learned to call by January 1st. Once you get past January 1st, they start raising prices a little bit more because nobody seems to know what next year is going to be. Because typically the big years are the fives, the 10s, the 15s. That's always the big year. And we always skip that. The only year we would have we did go to the 80th, but it wasn't as big as what they thought it was going to be. But last year was a pretty good crowd, and it was really great the way it worked out, because it was divided up from first part, second part. There was just as many people that came the first week, that came the second week. So don't always think, and we'll talk about that as we get closer to the rally, about when you want to come and ride some of those great roads, because you get on Needles Highway and that a lot of those you don't really want to ride during the rally weekends. What's the question? Do
you know how much the cabins were at Kathmandu? Were they 800?
They were more than that. I think they were about $1,100 or $1,200 for the whole time.
I don't know. I wanted to say 800, but I don't know.
I think it's more than that. And most of them are. Well, it's just like the Buffalo Chips is not cheap, and neither is Full Throttle. I think both of those are close to $2,000.
Kathmandu's cabins are a little bit nicer than Buffalo Chips, I have to say. Just throwing it out there. Here, they have a website. Let me see if they say what their cabins are. I'll look and see.
But I mean, at that time, when we talked to him a couple weeks ago, month ago, he still had about 3 or 4 person cabins, I think is what he had left.
So I think the Bears are winning over the Packers. The Bears.
So, I don't know. We're not big football people. We're not big sports people altogether.
I just know the Bears from Saturday Night Live.
We lived in Illinois for a while.
All right, where's your prices at?
Just calling.
What time is it there?
It's only an hour later.
7, 8, it's 8. I don't know.
Call him and ask him.
There's the bar, page links, camping info.
I'll tell you right now. Tell him we're live on camera. You can
cabins. Oh my gosh.
That's why I told you just to call and ask.
A double bed. Well, I don't know. I wanted to see if it just had a price.
No, you had to click on one.
They have air conditioning,
yeah,
but no heaters.
Yeah. So they had air conditioner. They have like a little table in there. They got a microwave. They got a coffee maker.
Bed, buck style table,
and,
chair,
the one we
fridge, microwave,
yeah,
coffee
fridge.
pot, AC, porch, picnic table.
We didn't have a picnic table. Might have been. Might have asked.
Well,
We
they
didn't
might
remember.
now.
I think maybe we did have one out front.
Some cabins are still available, but they don't have any prices.
So maybe she'll call, maybe she won't. And he can be right on live now. Could have brought him on the screen. He can talk about his cabins. Should have some of that if you guys would be interested in that. I don't know. We can definitely probably get Rod to come on. And if I don't know if you guys would anybody have questions to ask any of these campgrounds other than just prices? Because most of them, if you go to their websites, they pretty much got prices on there to tell you what their prices are, what's going on.
Oh, there's Buck. Buck, I got to tell you, here in town, there's a realtor named Buck Reynolds. Oh.
Tell them we were live.
It's
we were
not.
trying to get.
Oh.
Tell them we were live. If you call back, we were going to give you a free shout out right now on a live network.
But anyway, I was going to take a picture and send it to you, but I don't know how to send it to you. I got to leave a message. 1 for more options. Hi, Mike. This is Tam with Bob and Tam's Excellent Adventures. We're doing a live, and somebody wanted to know how much the cabins were going for.
If you had any left.
And if you had any left, it looks on your website you've got a few left.
We're going to put you live.
We're going to put you live on our live video, but you didn't answer. So you can call us back and let us know, and we'll let them all know. 714.
Well, let's see the number.
Call us back. Bye.
You gave him the Sturgis phone number.
Yeah. 605-499.
Well, now you got to let everybody know that too.
Well, oops.
Maybe call the Sturgis phone number.
Oh, well, that's okay.
You might call now and it's in the other room. We don't carry that around. If you
You'll
heard
see
that
what-
number, you can only really
Text.
that number. We don't really answer the phone.
But anyway, so Buck, I see that and I think Buck Reynolds is out here in my neighborhood. Did you open up a real estate company in Bullhead City, Arizona? Packers are moving down the field. All right. I think Neil's rooting for the Packers. Do they have bands and crazy stuff at Kathmandu? No.
Kathmandu
They do have a bar.
Kathmandu is a place to sleep. What's nice about Kathmandu, the one reason we went there the very first time was because they have their own private bus, a big bus. It's not like a Twinkie bus or the special ed kid bus. They got a real giant diesel bus that they go back and forth to Main Street on every hour on the hour.
And you don't have to ride the bus.
And go there. It's just for you guys. You get on, you go straight there to their campground. They got their own drivers. And that's the reason we did it, because if you really want to do drinking and stuff and partying downtown on Main Street, you're better off leaving your bike. Yeah.
Don't ride it.
Yeah.
Don't drink and drive.
Yeah. And so that's kind of one of the reasons we stayed there the very first time was because of that reason. That was a number one. Number two, we wanted some place that we could sleep. We don't mind going out and having a good time and having fun, but we're not party animals to stay up all night long and all that kind of stuff. And
I always used to say he was Cinderella because he always had to be home before midnight. He turned into a pumpkin.
And the other nice thing about it is where they're at is by the Veterans Cemetery. you're always going against the traffic. When you're coming into town or going out and coming back out, you're never sitting in traffic to get back to the campground. And that has been great every time we've stayed there now. This will be, was it 3 times we've been there?
This will be the 3rd time.
Okay. Twice we've stayed there and never had any trouble getting in and out of the campground. And where a lot of other ones, like if you're staying out by, a lot of people want to stay out there at Shade Valley or the Buffalo Chip. You know, if you're out there for the concerts, that's great. But if you want to try to get on that road around 6 o'clock and try to get to the Buffalo Chip, good luck. Sometimes it's a couple of hours of idling down to get to that. And that's on a normal night. That's why if you really want to see the stuff that's going on at the Buffalo Chip, you stay there. Because if you look at it and say, hey, 3 or 4 of these concerts I want to stay at, unless you want to get there early in the afternoon, but I mean, you still got to leave at the end of the night and get out of there. It was nice where we could walk back to our RV and we were there. And people said, oh, it's dusty, it's dirty, it's loud. It really wasn't that loud. And it really
not as loud as we thought it was going to be.
It was dusty, but every place was dusty this year because
it's
it didn't
smoky.
rain. It didn't rain. So what would you rather have? Would you rather have pouring down rain the whole time you're in Sturgis and no dust?
Mud or dust?
Yeah, I'll take the dust. And, you know, smoke was bad this year. And that's not nobody's fault. That's, you know, you can't do much about a fire. And but I mean, it's people that were, you know, most of these campgrounds, even Glencoe, they've got one road now that they've asphalted all the way through their main drag where all the tents are at. And all they're doing now is burnouts. So if you want to go down there and hear people burning out their tires all night long, go to Glencoe.
You've been on 2 hours, so now it's after 7. You don't get to eat.
So we got to wrap it up.
If the bus had an alternate route out of the concerts, that would be awesome, as it took us so long to get to the concerts to get out of there.
Yeah.
It was.
If you go out the back way, I don't know how busy that is getting out of there. And see, if you're going out to Kathmandu or if you're staying at kickstands or any of those campgrounds that way, or going to Rapid City, you can always go out that back way, out that road. And it really wasn't too bad. They kept watering it down, which I don't know why.
Magnesium water. Yeah.
It made it slick more than anything else. But I mean, it is a nice thing to avoid town, is to take that back road out of there. And it wasn't that bad. We rode on it quite a few times. And so it wasn't too bad. And so, yeah.
But that's why we stay at Kathmandu, because they have their own bus. But the young year we stayed there was the 80th, and that was during all the hoopla. And they weren't able to get their bus going because the insurance was going to cost them an exorbitant amount of money. So we went there and we told them that's the reason we
weren't
came.
Really happy about it. But that's what he said. He didn't know till the week before. Everything was a go. And right before the rally started the week before, insurance company called them up and said it was going to cost him like $20,000 because in case somebody would sue him for they got the virus in the bus. So it was what it was. And we survived. We ended up not really doing anything downtown late at night anyway. So because there we were doing different. We were coming back at night and editing and not going back out. So now we're trying to come back at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, edit, and then still go back out at night. And then you get that daytime, you get that same day. And then the nighttime stuff, you won't get till the next day. So that seemed to work out a little bit better. Plus it puts my videos back out at the time that we normally put our videos out, 4 o'clock Mountain Time. So any other questions? We wrap it up.
They said they're going to stay at the Buffalo Chip instead of Kathmandu, they said, for the crazy 70-year-old, and he says he's got a 90-year-old lady. So I guess that's what they're going to, yep.
You go out the back after the concert, sometimes they have what?
A checkpoint.
I didn't see anybody. I didn't see any.
Well, we never really were out that late.
Yeah.
I mean, not after a concert. We didn't go out after a concert, so I don't know. You go, Lewis. Oh, looky there. Art's on. We were talking about you.
You got to find out. I thought you were going to come out this month. It's not over yet. You need to meet our promoter for the new Bullhead River Run. So you can come back out here and film that for us and get you in all these places for free.
Where's comments at? I don't know what that means.
What?
It says, where's comments at?
I don't know. She's not seeing them.
I don't know. Can you get it?
Bye back to the.
They're back to the game.
Mhm.
Well, good luck. Go Packers.
So with that, we're going to leave you all right here.
You
And
came here at the bitter end, Art.
yeah, you're late. Late, Art. Shouldn't be working today. It's Sunday. Should have been off today. And so call me, and we'll figure out when you're going to come out. We're here for a while yet. So if you want to use that vacation and burn it up.
Looking mid-month.
We're mid-month now, aren't we?
Yeah, today's the 12th.
How much more mid can you get?
Couple more days. You're welcome, Roadkill Ron, and email us, and we'll get you in touch with some people. Oh, there's a bunch.
Everybody's coming in now.
Art says, or Rat Pink says, hello, Art. No, she says she can't see the comments. I don't know.
She says she's writing them. How she?
I don't know. If you're writing them, Harry the Farmer says good night. Hair Farmer. I always call him Harry the Farmer.
She's a guy named Harry the Farmer.
He knows that. We heard the story. Stayed at a nice place by Sturgis once called White Woods. Is it still there?
Is that a campground or is it a hotel? I've never heard of it.
There's that city between Spearfish and Sturgis is Whitewood, I think. I don't know if there's campground. Remember what was that one at the top of the hill?
That's
Eagle's
Sturgis.
Nest.
That's in Sturgis, I think.
It might be in Whitewood. I don't know.
Right behind.
Was it called Eagle's Nest? Something like that?
I think that's Sturgis still.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. Bears just made it 10-0. Sorry, Neil.
Just getting through her comments. From Missouri.
No.
And they say
MN.
Oh. Dent Mountain?
No.
Montana?
Montana, Minnesota. I don't know.
Montana.
I don't know. Okay, so he said he'll email us. Art said, hi, Rat Pink. See, if you go to Daytona with us, Art, you get to meet Rat Pink. Bullhead River Run when and the dates. It's
the last weekend of April. I think it's the 27th.
7th, 8th, 9th.
Yeah, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
No, it's Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
All that's going to come up on a video on Wednesday. We're going to give you all the information, and we're going to feed all the way up till the rally, till their rally starts. And every day he's getting more bands signing up. He's getting more stuff going on. Looks pretty neat. He's going to be inside this big giant building. We're going to show you that building, and pretty neat. And he's got some big vendors coming. I think he's got J&P Cycles coming, I think. But see, what's bad about it is people got to try, that's what's bad about the West Coast when it comes to rallies. Everybody's on the East Coast. They just got done with Daytona, and to give up Panama City is what they'd have to give up to come to
Bullhead.
Not saying Daytona, Panama City is a killer. But I mean, I don't know. It depends on what this will turn into.
Woo. New Texas Roadhouse is going to open in Henderson tomorrow.
There you go.
What was I going to say to somebody? I don't remember. Shade Valley. There's a Shade Valley, and it's 7 miles past the Buffalo Chip.
Yeah.
And that's the one that actually the people that own that live here in Bullhead City. So we're going to try to get in touch with them and talk to them.
We did an interview with them. We kind of talked about it. We stayed there years ago, and Art stayed with us there.
Yep.
And different owners now. Whole new owners are on there. So we don't know anything. We did the interview with them. That's all we know. And then we had a few complaints, not from people that stayed there, people that were trying to get in to look at the place, and they wouldn't let them in. So we're going to try to talk to them about that, see what's going on, because one of them is one of our subscribers. It's got a $500,000 rig, with a big trailer they haul all their stuff around in, and they wouldn't even let them on the property to go have a beer. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on out there, and that we had 4 people complain.
Give them some constructive criticism.
Yeah. So if they want to
can take it and leave it.
Sure. Don't hurt our feelings either way. All right, so we done?
I think so. So thanks for coming out today. So subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video.
And got some more exciting videos coming up next week. The Bullhead City Run. That's going to be coming up. So stay tuned. Does that say end?
End broadcast. Bye.
Bye. Can't see. Give me my glasses. What are you doing?
They're behind you.
It's still going, I think. Can't see it. It's too far away.
You hit it. What does that all this say?
There it is. End.